What's up, family? What's up, family? Respect. Let me go get my shout out the way. Respect the last call, Jay Wilson, Jaco Big Dog. What's going on, Silverback? Together. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? If you, with respect to Dubs too, I've got Dubs in the house. Dubs, what's going on, my brother? That car chronicled what it just he did just before I came on. We were just and when Jaco came on. That is eye opening. And the question is, was Cat Williams mad facts or shade? I want to take it at face value. Because I went and looked at Cat Williams when he did that joke on Cover View. And Central Entertainers did copy his jokes. Okay. Cat Williams do his own thing. Does his own thing. And that right there tells me that he is a man's man. You got Michael Blackson, Cedric and Taylor got their petties all in a bunch. Cause Cat Williams up there telling his truth. See, I like what Ricky Smiley said. Yeah, he did go to read for that part, but it was for another part, right? And Cat Williams wouldn't want to change the script and make Michael a pimp, which he did. And Smiley knew he couldn't play the pimp role, so he said, okay. He got the role as Santa Claus in Friday. So, so it had to be fact. But now, look at Michael Black saying, you're not even funny. Cedric Taylor, you not funny. Why are y'all so mad? Cause Cat Williams went on Club Shay Shay and told the truth. Cause when somebody go on a rant like that and talk like he did, and you respond to it, some got to be some truth to it. Got to be some truth to it. It's just like somebody talking about, oh, you wouldn't have did this to this woman, whatever. The woman did this on her husband, whatever. And you did this, you did that, whatever. And then, if you know it's not true, should you respond to it? But if you respond to it, it must be true. But I can't. I want to ask you a question. How many of y'all think these Steve Harvey, Cedric the Taylor, Michael Blackson, any other comedians funny? Do y'all think these other comedians funny? Hey, maybe, maybe not. But I tell you what, Cat Williams is. I typed this in it's just e chat. I went to see D.L. Hughley live because I had a free ticket. I took my ex because it was a free ticket. It was date night. Went to see him. He's not funny with at all. He's not funny at all. So, do y'all think what Cat Williams said is true? If you think it's true, put a one in the chat. So they all, the powers to be the puppet masters. What movie has Steve Harvey been in? See, I see Steve Harvey. First time I saw Steve Harvey, it was on Showtime at Apollo. That Miss Green was a joke because everybody was making fun of Miss Green when he got knocked out by Mike Tyson. Or got in a fight at the bar, whatever. I forgot which one it was. But he's not funny. He's not funny. So the panel is open. The link is pinned at the top of the page. You want to come and hit the link? Let's talk about it. And talk about anything else you want to talk about. But I'm trying to wrap my head around why Cedric and Tatum getting mad at what Cat Williams said. If you did steal his joke, you shouldn't be mad. You should be responding. And when Cat Williams did that joke on Comic View, it was 1998. Y'all remember when the Kings of Comedy was doing their tour, right? That was in 2000, 2 years later. So who was lying? Was Cat Williams lying? Or Cedric Entertainment lying? The powers that be would want Cat Williams like Cedric Entertainment, Steve Harvey, and all the rest of them. Because he won't act right. He won't act right. You right, Dubs. You right, Dubs. You right. Got blackballed more like it. Ice Cube's been saying it. Who's been wrong? Who's been wrong? See, if you're gonna go talk about someone like that, see, I like how E put it. Shannon Sharp just stopped the man from talking. He didn't stop to answer no questions. He let him do his thing. And he spilled just about all the beans. Think about it. Steve Harvey might not have been in the dress, but what did he was in a suit acting like he was part of Rainbow Coalition. So had Cat Williams ever did that? Nope. What Cat Williams known to play the part of as a pimp, right? And he keep it real. He's a thinker. He's intelligent. He be saying stuff people in that industry would love to say, but they can't say because of the puppet master. You right about that though. You are right about that. You're the one with the real talent. I'd rather stand alone and do my thing than try to be part of some kind of secret society and do what they want you to do. Not what you want to do, but what they want you to do. How y'all feel about that? I'm gonna take a quick commercial. Silverback, HSE, together. What's y'all opinion on this? We're gonna go to a quick commercial and we're gonna be back. Respect to the commercial team is together. I will show one of her commercials later. For all you that go watch this replay, go look at my community wall, your neighbor on that community wall. Her emails is on there. Email her so she can get your address and so she can tell you how much the shipping handling is. If not, you got less than 1 week to do it. If not, we're gonna have another giveaway on my panel. So guess what? It is what it is. Sorry about that. Sorry, Charlie. But Before you get started, sit back, my brother. What's good? What's good?
What's good,
What's
brother?
good, bro?
Oh, I'm good. I'm gonna read what Dove said. These two coming Dove said right here. He says it's rules when they take that old in Hollywood en route to fame. The ones that don't enter that party or that door will not be successful. And those be the ones with real talent. Then he goes on to say, what's sad is people are willing to do anything possible to attain access to millions of dollars and millions of followers. It is all temporary. Don't compromise who you are to impress strangers. Boy, Dove hit it right on the head. Dove hit right on the head.
Yep.
Yeah. We're not in here trying to impress. We're not on here trying to impress nobody. We just try to find the truth, to give people knowledge and the truth what's going on. See, Cat Williams wasn't wrong, was he?
Nah,
He was just
Go ahead, talk, my brother.
nah, he was just speaking his truth. You can't get mad at someone who's just speaking the truth. And Dubs took the words out of my mouth as far as as far as his point he just brought out. So, but my thing is that if you notice all the people that he's mentioned, just about all the people he mentioned, except two of them that I can think of, but every last one of the people that he's mentioned that has actually done something or kind of like quote unquote sold their soul to get the fame, the money, and so forth and so on, every last one of them have responded, and they basically kind of like giving him backlash about it. Why are they so mad? You know what I'm saying? Why are they so heated about this one man speaking his truth? Why are you in your feelings? Every last one of them came out and they spoke out against him. So, and he gave, he spoke his truth, but you can tell the responses out of all the ones that he called out, that there's something up with their whole careers. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
yeah.
What's going on?
See, I'm like this right here. The only one I have more respect for is Ricky Smiley.
Right. Exactly what he was speaking about.
Because if you go look it up, Cat Williams, 1998 cover view, right? That's 98. Mm-hmm. He did that joke with Last. Right. Mm-hmm. 2000, Kings of Comedy. Cedric Entertainer did the same joke, but changed the vehicle, right?
Yep.
I'm trying to figure out who the hell called them the Kings of Comedy.
They sure ain't no when they came out. They weren't no kings in my eyes because none of them were funny except for Bernie. What's up,
sis? You know what? Two people like I told y'all. Only reason I went to see D.L. Hughley, it was on a date night with my ex, and there were free tickets. It was free tickets, and he wasn't even funny. And the sad part about it, I was drinking a whole lot, and still wasn't laughing.
Salute.
Yeah, and I tell you, three people I would have liked to go see: Bernie Mac, Cat Williams, and Chris Tucker.
That's a hell of a stand up right there.
And then although Dave Chappelle, some of his jokes is kind of plain, you know what I'm saying? But I could take them three and put against them four. Who you think will make the most money?
Cat. KATT would.
KATT, Bernie, and Chris Tucker, them together make more money than D.L. Hughley, Steve Harvey, Cedric Entertainer. Who was that? Who was the other one?
What are you talking about? Ricky Smith?
No, I'm talking about the King of Comedy.
It was Bernie, Cedric the Entertainer, D.L. Hughley, and then Steve Harvey.
See, I took Bernie Mac out of that. Put them three against the three I just named. Put Bernie Mac with Katt Williams and Chris Tucker against Steve Harvey, D.L. Hughley, and Cedric Entertainer. Who would y'all go see?
I'm gonna go see Bernie and KATT.
Yep, me too.
And Steve Harvey, I'm going to tell you about Steve Harvey. He was on Showtime at Apollo. He hosted Showtime at Apollo. On the joke that was funny that Miss Green, because I was laughing because I had seen that he got beat up in the bar or he got Mike Tyson knocked him out. That's only that joke was funny because I knew the ending of it.
You talking about when it's screaming?
Go ahead.
I said, were you talking about when his eye was screaming?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. See, it got to be the hands that be. See, I look at this right here. People that make it big, you know how they say a woman is some women do some strange for a piece of change.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, some of these people, men and women, do some strange for some piece of change for fame.
Right.
And what are they doing? I don't care the power to be get mad at me. I don't give a damn. The door is open. Ice Cube been talking about the same shit, hasn't he?
Right.
Even crazy ass Kanye West been talking about the shit.
Right. I'm curious to know, D and E. I'm curious to see what Corey Holcomb is going to say about all this because he's been screaming the same thing, and like Dubs has said in the chat, KATT has always been saying this. He's always been saying this. It's just people not paying attention. You know what I mean? People are just going with the flow. Whenever Kevin Hart, when he came out, he got all the movies and so forth and so on, whatever. Oh, Kevin Hart's funny. No, I'm with KATT. But I'm waiting on Corey Holcomb on his, what is it, 1050 show. I'm interested in seeing what he has to say and to respond and all this, because basically those two are two comedians that have been pushing against the establishment. You know what I'm saying? Talking about these things, both of them. You know what I mean?
Well, both of them are also independent. I mean, Corey Holcomb, he owns
that
5150 show is Corey Holcomb's.
Right.
He backs it. He pays for it. He's doing his own things. The same as KATT.
Right. And you notice one thing I think a lot of people have missed is that one thing that motivated me with KATT, he said he turned down $50 million to be independent, basically. He turned down $50 million and he invested in himself. And the $50 million that he turned down, he could have, he could have rolled with the establishment. He could have rolled with with everybody else, but he betted on himself. He invested in himself, and he's still on top. You know what I mean? He might not be like Steve Harvey have all these shows and stuff like this, but he invested in himself. And that's a lesson that you can take personally. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go by the beat of your own drum. You know what I mean? You don't have to be like everybody else. You don't have to do what everybody else does that's popular. Stick to your own guns, stick to your own morals and your beliefs, bet on yourself, and you're going to come out on top with hard work.
Right.
You're right. And I'm going to say this right here. Although we say 20s Nation, Wolfpack Nation, Wolfpack Council, Truth Nation, we're all different individuals, right? And we talk about different things. But thing is, we all want the same thing, to grow and help our community. But what are they doing? Look at Steve Harvey. Look at Steve Harvey. What is stepdaughter, Lori Harvey? She don't know who the hell she want to be with.
And would you take advice? Would you take advice on relationships with Steve Harvey? You know what I mean? He's a known simp. You know what I mean? He's quick to talk about dating advice and all this type of stuff. And I'm like, no. Or how to raise your kids. No, dude, I pass on your advice.
Well, you see how that worked out for his co-host. What's her name? Sherry Strawberry.
Right.
Co-sign. What's his name? Ernesto.
Yes.
And where is Ernesto now? Ernesto is behind bars with all kind of crazy charges.
Exactly.
Shoot, Doug's all into this tonight, ain't he?
Yeah,
He said ownership will always be more valuable than accepting a check to be pushed to the top. Hard work and belief in yourself will make you appreciate the grind more. You're right.
Exactly.
Right. And that's ultimately what KATT was saying. Is
right.
You know, in his mind, you know, y'all took the easy route.
Exactly.
I took the hard route to get to where I'm at. I took a chance on me. You know, because I knew what my product is me. My product ain't, you know, he was like, everybody comes with, you know, these different products to present him with, and, you know, or this show I'm about to do, I'm going to drop this, I'm going to drop that. He's like, my product is me. I am the product.
And you notice how people, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you did.
And you notice, y'all, that Faison Love, he, you know, KATT was listening, you know, Faison Love said that crap about the Netflix. Anybody can get a Netflix deal? You said that stuff on Vlad TV. So KATT was listening. And he's like, well, how come you haven't done it? You know what I mean? So these folks that are poo-pooing on him and how he's getting it in the mud, you know, they're not even on his level. You know what I mean? They're not on his level grind-wise. So basically the dudes, they're basically trying to poo-poo on how he's doing stand-up independently, and he's still making money. You know what I mean? So how are you going to basically shit on this dude and how he's getting it because y'all took the easy route and he's taking the hard route? At the end of the day, I guarantee this man can sleep and not knowing that he doesn't have a battery in his back like the rest of these folks that he called out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right about that. Respect to Armando Black TV. Respect to Rose Gold. You made it over here, my darling. You made it. I'm gonna tell you this right here. I'd rather get it out of the mud. See, hey, somebody hand you some money, right? Hand you some money. Mm-hmm. Hey, somebody give you a bag for the money. You don't know how much is in there. But yet, you got to do what they want you to do and how they want you to do it. Would you take that bag of money? Knowing you need it, how bad you need it.
I don't know what amount of money is in it. No, I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm not going to do that.
Silverback.
I can't promise you. You know, I'm just being real.
Let's say it's 30 million in the bag, but you got to do what they want you to do and how they want you to do it.
I can't do that. No, that can be anything. No.
See, that's practically what Hollywood really is, and the entertainment industry is, right? They're not doing what they. Now you see why some of these. Armando made a good point on the back end. Go to New York, go to these parts where the guys playing basketball, right? Yeah, granted, some of them out there had the grade. Granted, some of them had the wheel or drive. But some, but all of them probably had one thing. They wanted to make it big, but they see how it is going, and they don't want to be in that BS.
Man,
See, and, hey, another thing. Look how everybody mad at Lil Nas X. Think about it. He came out saying he was gay, right?
Right.
So, so what can the power to be do with him now? They can't turn him. Y'all take on that. Respect together, my sister. Silverback E.
Go ahead, E.
Oh, I was typing in the chat. Did I miss? What did you say? I'm sorry.
She missed the whole thing. Then she Silverback.
I was typing in the
chat. He was
Go ahead.
He was basically saying he used Lil Nas X as an example. He came out gay, and a lot of people hate him, but the other side can't turn him because he's already, you know what I'm saying? He's already, he's already gay. You know what I'm saying? He's already, so to speak. So they can't really own him, or they can't, put a battery in his back or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's what he was talking
about. Originally, he did not come out gay. So when he did that, what was that dang song with the country singer Miley Cyrus?
Hometown Road.
Yeah, that Old Town Road.
Old Town Road. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't actually come out as gay. He didn't come out as gay until that next. He blew everybody's mind. He pushed everybody wig back with the next song. That's what really like.
Yeah, with the devil and all that stuff.
Yeah, even before that, I think it was one more before that. He was constantly pushing the envelope, and I think now, what is he? D-Truth, isn't he? He got a gospel song out right now.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, like if my number's on here, he'll tell you too that he's from our area. He was always been like that, so it wasn't a surprise to us that he did what he did. You see what I'm saying? So,
right.
Respect to Nate the Great. And when people like Katt Williams and others tell them the powers to be, the stick they whatever, where the sun don't shine, people gonna get mad.
Yep.
I mean, he's already been allegedly blackballed from the industry.
Yeah,
he ain't got nothing to lose from what he's saying. He's already been labeled crazy. He's been labeled a drug addict. He's been labeled hard to work with. He's been They put a lot of labels on him, which also makes you wonder, why are you so concerned? Why are you so busy labeling this man? And he's doing his own thing. You know what I'm saying? But they're constantly labeling him.
Right.
What's going on, Nate?
I'm gonna tell you this right here. I guarantee you, if Katt Williams, when it come to your city, E, and the biggest place they have, it'll sell out.
Oh, it did. He was inside, and I didn't even know about it. Else I would have definitely went to go see him. We would have definitely went to go see Katt Williams.
I know. I was talking about Atlanta. I wasn't even thinking about where we from. But and I already know. Silverback.
Yes, sir.
I know you have to take that day off to go see Cat Williams, wouldn't you?
Yeah. You got.
Would you take? Hey, see, you couldn't take your daughter to see Cat Williams.
Oh no,
Nah.
she has to say something.
And I know we'll sell out here in Atlanta. See, I wonder how many of the mother can say that. Yeah, he getting in front of mud. But guess what? They get their money from powers to be, and he getting the money from doing his tours. What's the difference?
I have a question for you, both of y'all on the panel. With him saying this, which he's always been vocal, he's always stood on his own too. This makes me wonder about Monique. How everybody was saying Monique was crazy and saying things about the industry and so forth and so on, her being blackballed and her being whatever. Some of the things she was saying, what do y'all think about that? You think those, him telling his truth, her telling her truth on Oprah and on Steve Harvey and so forth and so on. Do y'all think that those stories that they tell about the inner workings of the industry, are they kind of similar? What do y'all think?
I don't think they're, how can I say this? They're similar, but in different ways. So I do believe when Monique first came out, I was kind of looking at her with the side eye because, the first time she came out, she was talking about this. What was her first? I don't know if she did this first where she was talking about boycott Netflix or was it the whole Precious thing where they wanted her to, travel for free. But I do believe blackballing exists, and it exists in all that in the entertainment period. But I think it's like an old boys club or old girls club. I mean, sororities, fraternities. Everybody got this. Everybody got cliques. Everybody got circles. And for certain things, if you want, certain people don't want new people in their circles. It's levels to it. They just at a higher level of it. People experience this, at lower levels. Not being a part of certain organizations. Certain people at work. You know what I'm saying? It happens, but this is on a whole nother level. So I think it's similar. Monique did get blackballed, but what she was saying was justified, in my opinion. The way they had her, she fulfilled her contractual obligation. But with Cat Williams, it wasn't even a contractual obligation. It was just simply, I think they just didn't. His type of comedy is just, it can pierce you. He makes you think. He makes you think. He like I said, he's not on the same level. The Steve Harveys, the Cedrics, those are the Ricky Smileys, the Kevin Harts. They can't compare to how Cat Williams, performs and how he puts together his shows and what he talks about. They don't even want to address the things that he addresses. They scared because they know they have dealings with the powers that be. So they can't.
To support what you just said about him being just different from the rest of them, you can tell by, you remember when he was on the show with Wanda Smith and he was roasting her? Come to find out, he was being set up by her, whatnot. He was roasting. That all came from the dome. All came from the dome. You know what I mean? That's just brilliant. He can roast you or whatever, and just, off the rip. You know what I'm saying? He could roast you. He could be so hilarious that it's not scripted. You know what I mean? These dudes are all scripted. Rest of these dudes are scripted. These guys, man, it's just like robots. This dude here, man, he is very much intelligent. That takes a lot. That is being a comedian is a craft. You know what I mean? Red Fox had it. Eddie Murphy had it. You know what I mean? Richard Pryor. You know what I mean? All those guys had it. You know, this dude here is on a whole nother level. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And you can't, I mean, it's the same as, like you said, he can do it off the rip. That's the same as a rapper. You know what I'm saying? The ones that can stand in a cipher and come off the head and just look at you and rap and just spit, bars.
Right.
About anything about you, about anything behind you, about the mofo next to you. That is talent. You can't, that's just a talent. But they not getting put on. Who's getting put on are the ones that get they bars written for. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Those are the ones.
In other words, ghostwriters.
Exactly. They ghostwriters. Those are the ones that that are out there in the forefront because they puppets and they willing to do anything because they know they don't have that talent, but they like, just put me on. I'll do whatever you want.
Yes, sir, boss. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It'd be like, yes, sir, master. See, they don't want us. They don't want none of us in the Wolfpack. You know why? Because we go to beat our own drum. And we don't fall for that BS. See, and Dove said the problem is when they get into Hollywood, they become too reliant upon the handlers to make money instead of investing in themselves to have residual income to not have to rely on being a comedian.
Well, just like that's her whole problem. They get in this in like he said in Hollywood, and you get all these accolades. And with all these accolades, you get your head blown up. And with getting your head blown up, then you get all these. You have handlers, but you also have entourages. Then you got makeup artists. Then you got stylists. Then you got writers. Then you got this. You got that. You got that. You got to pay all these people.
Right.
Now you caught because the money you making is being split like 20 different ways. So you really ain't making no money.
Not making money at all.
With so you gotta keep all the hands is in there. Yep. People say, well, at least he's trying to help people. I get that. But do you really need all that? Or do you just like to be looked at like you that ninja? You know what I'm saying? Do you really need all that?
And most people want to be that ninja. And that's the reason why they have all these folks around them that are basically a waste.
Right. You paying for a lot of things that, do you really need all of that? I mean, really?
Yeah. Read what Dub said.
Dub says, it's so much money out here now to run it up without having to sell your soul. You got to put the grind before the shine and the hustle before the exactly. The hustle before the muscle.
Exactly. But I mean, some people are willing to take that easier road if it's given to them, and it's given to the ones that they know they can control. And that's in all industries. That's in athletics.
Yep.
It's in everything.
Yep.
The most talented one probably isn't in the industry, probably isn't on the basketball court, probably isn't on the football field.
I want to ask y'all too a question about one of the things he said. Shannon Sharp, he asked him about Tajiri, about how she was crying or whatever, about the money she was making and so forth. So
Taraji.
Mm-hmm. Tajiri is WWE. But what do y'all think about that? Basically, what she was upset about was kind of like in the realm. That's the reason why I asked y'all about the Monique situation. And now, Shannon brought that up. And, KATT, he kind of explained about investing in himself and so forth and so on. But in the industry, she's been in so many movies, so many award-winning movies, where she's nominated. She starred in some. So what do y'all think about that?
I mean, me personally, it's apples to oranges between her and Monique. So Monique, her whole gripe was, and Monique she is an award winner. Taraji P. Henson is a nominee.
Right.
There's a difference.
Right.
Then you're looking at the fact that Monique, she fulfilled her contractual obligation. She didn't complain about what she was paid for the movie because she was paid well. She was complaining that they wanted her to go overseas and not pay her for PR to promote the movie. And she was like, I want to stay home with my family, but they wanted her to go. And she said, okay, if I go, what are you going to pay me? And they didn't want to pay her. They wanted her to do all this free promotion. And that was her complaint. Her complaint was, I've already fulfilled my contractual obligation. Because if she hadn't fulfilled her contractual obligation, they could have sued her.
Right.
But the very fact that she wasn't sued meant that she fulfilled her contractual obligation to them. Everything else was just, icing on the cake, and she didn't want to do it, unless you paid her. With Taraji sat down and she said on everything, she sat down with these people and negotiated. She just negotiated bad. And I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about that soon.
I knew you was gonna do that. I knew.
Yeah.
I know.
Hey, sit back. Hey, sit back. Why she do us like that?
Man, I'm telling you, I know this woman. I know this woman, man. I knew she was gonna do it, and I just wanted to know her. That's the reason why I brought it out, because I knew she was going to eventually talk about in her Car Chronicles. I knew it.
Yeah, I knew it too. I was like, when you asked that question, I was sitting there thinking, muted up, like, why did Silbeck ask that question? Look at, hey, she just gave some breadcrumbs. That's all she did.
Just gonna get some breadcrumbs.
Yeah, because it's all about negotiation and transparency. She wants to talk about disparities in pay, but it's so many. It's different ways you could look at that, and I'm gonna talk about it.
But here's my thing, E. With both of them, I mean, it's different situations, but it's similar because and this is the way I look at it. Because both of them had to negotiate, okay, or in some way, form, or fashion. Even though, the industry, okay, on both sides they got screwed, okay. Monique got screwed, and then she got screwed, okay. So what could they have done different? Because you got the powers that be was basically trying to screw them.
But Taraji didn't get screwed. Taraji sat down and signed a contract. If you didn't agree with that contract, you shouldn't have signed it. Monique got because she got blackballed. They blackballed her for not wanting to play. You know what I'm saying? They blackballed her for not wanting to play their game.
Okay.
In their little circle. Taraji, she sat down with them. She said she almost didn't accept the color purple because of the money. But obviously she signed, so what she asked for, she got. Now you crying after the fact. You see what I'm saying? You can't, it's a little different.
Well, don't you think she should have better people around her to negotiate?
That yeah, but that's on you. I
agree.
That's on you. Monique got her husband. You know what I'm saying? And Hooker Crook, people don't like him, but I mean, it is what it is. She didn't. To me, she didn't tell any lies, and now it's just coming out. And then the whole thing with Monique, when Monique said what she said, nobody took up for Monique.
Not at
Everybody
all.
took up for Monique.
You're right. Nobody did. And
but not in public. But now, because Taraji is coming out talking about, oh, it's me, they didn't pay me, da 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 da. Now everybody, me too, da 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 da. So it's just different.
I don't know about you, but I don't want to hear everybody else. Y'all should have had the cojones to say something before now. It takes, I don't want to hear all the rest of them. You know what I mean? I don't know about you, but that's That's how I feel about it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna read this right here. LeBron said, he said, he gave an example. He said he was in LA for the BET Award 5 years ago, and some of the people he seen there who were stars and what they look like now, they are a mess. And they were making fun of you, Silverback.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw.
I saw.
It's the
Wine speaking.
Then Doug said, told Bronze basically eat 45 minutes south, and he said, "Hey, Bronze was a line. Respect to Jizzy CX. I don't know who that is. McGilligan. Respect to y'all for coming in. And this what I don't. This what I'm saying. Since you referenced the WWF, now WWE, don't that remind you of what they do in the entertainment industry? That anybody could be bought. Just about anybody can be bought.
Yep.
And Ice Cube hasn't made no music. Came back out with no music, has he? Nope.
I mean, I think he made a little like West Coast something, but nothing, concrete with just him putting out like several tracks. But I think he went on tour with like Snoop, Too Short, and some other folks, all California cats.
Right.
See, and think about, look what you see what he talk about, right? He put it all out there too.
Yeah, and that's why they messing with him with his what is his basketball league?
Big Three.
Big three.
Yeah, the Big Three. I mean, and they really don't like him now because of what he supposedly did. They said he was going to make a deal with Trump. So, they had to throw him anything to get, more of the left not to like him. They went at him for that, for trying to, the deal. What was his contract with Black America or something like that, or a deal with Black America. And he wanted to sit down with Joe Biden and Trump. And Trump was the only one that sat down with him, and he got ridiculed for it. They threw him for the filth.
Just
and
because
he just sat down. He just sat down with him. He asked both of them. He wanted to sit down with both of them, go over his contract. Biden have said, we'll see you after the election. Trump said, let's talk. So, it is what it is.
Just because he sat down and he talked to him. And that's sad. That goes to show you the left and how they think.
Yeah, you're right. And that why see, I consider them some kind of renegades, right? Right. We can say some of the people that do what Cat Williams, Monique, Ice Cube, them do, renegades. You know what I kind of consider us? We kind of renegades because we don't go along to get along with anybody.
Right.
Respect and learning. Because we got our own opinion. Even sometimes up here when we talking and we got our own opinion, but we all listen to what each other opinion that somebody says and try to look at it from their perspective.
Right.
But that's why I said what I said when I opened the show. Cat Williams said what he said. It got to be true. Cause why would all these other comedians want to lash out, clap back at him?
Yeah, and I followed up with you, man. Every last one of them that he mentioned, every last one comedian. Now he said some things about Luda.
Did Steve Harvey respond?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. He's gonna respond.
He didn't respond. He said some things. He said some things about Ludacris. He said some things about Wanda Smith. I don't know if Kevin Hart spoke. spoke out yet.
Kevin Hart ain't gonna say nothing either. He got too much other stuff going on in his life.
But you know, Kevin Hart put him on blast or tried to put him on blast on the Breakfast Club the last time he was on the Breakfast Club. So
right. But what he said about Kevin, I didn't even he made me think. Like I said, he made me think. He was like, you know, where Kevin Hart just dropped out the sky. Yep. And literally he did. He dropped. I was like, when Soul Plane came out, I was like, who is this ninja? Who is he?
He had everything handed to him when he came in. And
right.
Yeah, you're right. Think about this. You're right. And think about this. When Jumanji came out, the not the one with Rob Wynn, but with The Rock. Look at all the movies that he played with The Rock, right?
Right.
We know how big a star The Rock. He was a big star in WWE. But he got even bigger when he got to Hollywood.
Right.
You take. Look, I didn't even know who the hell he was in Soul Plane.
Nobody did. Like I said, I knew Snoop. I knew what was his name? There was a few comedians in there. I didn't even know Lonnie Love. Monique was in it. You know, he dropped out of nowhere.
Yep.
And was the star.
And he's not funny.
Not at all.
Oh yeah, we mentioned we were gonna get to that, bros. He said all those comedians can't dispose wore dresses.
Right.
Yep.
And that's not. Think about it. That's not allegedly. It's on video.
Right.
Yeah. I think he was cool with Martin Lawrence because one of his specials he talked about Martin Lawrence and how he used to go to Martin Lawrence's house, his mansion, all the time. Loved it there. You know what I'm saying? He had a bowling. He said anything you want. Martin had bowling alley, basketball court, movie theater. He's like, I used to go home and be like, damn, just upset. But he said with him, I think Martin Lawrence asked him to wear a dress. He's like, why won't you wear it? He's like, you should consider it. And I think that's how they ended up not being so cool anymore. Michael Blackson.
Go ahead.
Did Michael Blackson brought Kevin Hart up? You mean brought him into the industry, or what do you mean brought him up? What you mean, Dubs?
I don't know what
Kevin did. Was it Saturday Night Live? He said he never would, but then I think it was Saturday Night Live or something. He ended up coming out in a dress, but that was after his whole little fiasco with him sleeping around on his pregnant wife, Aniko.
Right.
You know.
Oh, Dub said into the industry.
Oh, Michael Blackson brought Kevin Hart?
No.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that either. No. I first saw Michael Blackson on whatchamacallit, the HBO damn it. The thing that Steve Harvey and Martin Lawrence hosted.
I know it's Def Comedy Jam.
Yeah, Def Comedy Jam.
Yeah, I never heard of Kevin Hart. I mean, I didn't even hear of Michael Blackson until Comic View, I believe, was when I first saw Michael Blackson. I don't even believe I remember him being on Def Comedy Jam.
Yeah.
I just knew he was funny because he had that dang African accent.
Yeah, he had the African accent. That's what made him.
And that was the only thing that was funny. When I listened to him, he ain't all that funny.
One thing about it, you hardly could understand what the hell he was saying.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what made
it. It's baffling me. But these Cat Williams Ice Cube, Monique. It's gonna be a whole bunch of more come out and speak out against what's going on. And black, yeah, you try to blackball him? Okay.
He's already
done.
Cat Williams been blackballed. That's what he's saying. He's like, they done already, said what they was gonna say about me. It is what it is.
And said he was on drugs and all kinds of stuff. And he said, where's all the proof? And I got to thinking, there's been no proof. Who's come out against him? Nobody's came out against him, as far as the proof and evidence. He's got a point. He has got a point.
Right. The only weird thing I saw about Cat Williams is the fact that he got beat up by that youngster that time.
Yeah, he got choked out. Yeah.
I remember that. Didn't that happen in Atlanta?
I think it was.
Yep, I think it was in Atlanta. Hey, I'm tell you, I seen his comedy show when he's in Washington D.C. He had a backdrop of the Capitol. He said, "What you see behind me is not Washington D.C. What behind that is Washington D.C." If you get what I was saying, he said, "Don't give me none of that." He's talking about smoking weed. We don't care we smoke weed. He said, "Don't give me none of that all different names of weed he was naming off." He said, "Just give me regular weed. That's all I want."
Right. That's when he was talking. I think he was talking about Snoop when he went to what was it? When he was shooting a movie.
He was talking about he said he ain't gonna never go smoke with Snoop no more.
He's like, he was blowing blunts, about 4 or 5 blunts in rotation. He said, I was so high. He said they all left out, knew how to speak their lines and everything. He's like, I'm in the bathroom, like, where am I?
Hey, that was funny. That was funny as heck. Look, when he did that routine, he had me in tears. Especially when you talk about his son. When he gave that rally, he like, what you thinking about, son? Running?
Yeah, he's just good. He's just good. I mean, it's very few that I like to go see. I think who said it was it Doug's? Somebody said something about because he clowned Earthquake. Now I like Earthquake. I'm sorry, Earthquake funny as hell to me. Now, did I know he didn't know how to read? No, I didn't. But Earthquake is funny. I'm sorry. Man, I've seen Earthquake a couple of times. That man is funny as hell.
And they between Cat Williams here recently and 5150, my boy Corey Holcomb, they've been exposing Earthquake, boy.
What did they say? What did Corey Holcomb say about Earthquake?
He was a crackhead on drugs. I think he said he couldn't read either, I think.
Oh my God. Well, you don't need to read to tell, to do some comedy skits. You just somebody got to tell you what to say or you come off the head. So,
you're right. And I like Bernie Mac when he said, stir like motherfucking sugar. Y'all remember when he said that? I forgot what joke that was. Bernie Mac had me laughing. He had me cracking up.
That was in the comedy. Oh, no. That was on Def Comedy Jam when he said stir it like coffee.
Hey, if y'all don't know what he was talking about,
man.
I know.
I know you know. I know Silbat know. If you ain't seen that, y'all need to go watch it. It's somewhere on YouTube.
That's when he's all of them. You're gonna see a lot more people talking about a lot of stuff now because things is real hard in Hollywood right now. All these strikes, the strikes that happen with the writers and all that stuff. And they stayed on strike for like what? I want to say like 2 months, maybe 3 months. You know, they were missing a lot of money. A lot of them, you're gonna see a lot of differences. You're gonna see a lot of people that's gonna do some things that is not common to them because they lacking in money. The money is drying up in Hollywood. It's about to be a
Holly weird, as you say. Holly weird.
Weird, yep.
Hold up. Then the writers and the actors got together in his last strike.
Yeah. The strike lasted. And that just exposed how a lot of them, you know, they not making a lot of money. They're not making a lot of money. You know, all these sitcoms that they were on and all that residual money that you think they get, a lot of them getting checks for like 5 cents, 3 cents, you know, for the, you know, these sitcoms that are in rotation. So they really not, all that glitters is not gold. It's really not what we think it is. So, and it's going to get worse because now that's why the writers were definitely trying to, you know, get different contracts and get certain things because of, you know, things like open AI, Chat GPT. Well, now anybody can write a script.
Right.
Anybody, if you learn how to prompt, and know how to work Chat GPT, anybody can write a script.
Right.
So, you know, they know this. So, you know, it's going to be a lot of changes. And that's why they were trying to get some things in place for themselves. But, you know, it may be too little too late.
People starting to wake up, sis. They're starting to wake up and starting to realize that it's all a game.
Right. I believe all of them knew, but you know how you feel that, you know, you feel that you can play the game, you know, you understand the game. And I'm still in the game. I'm a player in the game.
Right.
Not knowing that you a pawn.
Right.
It's a difference. you gotta know which piece you are on this chessboard. And a lot of them is just pawns.
I'm just right. Good night, CX. Raiders mama. Respect to you. Hey, that's what we do over here. Positive stuff. And for you speaker, Silver, I forgot the doggone name, Silverback. It was one of them days. But it goes back. It goes to show you that. Let's take the music industry for. Let's take social media for instance. Yes, some social media is bad. Think about some of these skits, some of these content creators are doing just on social media, and they're good too. When you say,
Yeah.
what they look, and where they make it phone now, you don't need a big production to make a movie. It's just like the music industry. You do not need the big record labels. Get your songs out there.
Exactly.
And that's why Hollywood, as we call it, is losing money.
They're not losing money per se, but their artists are losing money because, like you just said, it's easy to do that stuff. Well, in the music industry, it's been easy, but I mean, most people, when you're doing it independently, and I think that's what KATT was trying to say. It's people who will do this and do the work and put their stuff out on their own. They don't need the big machine. They don't want the big machine. And it can be done. but it's also the ones that go that route of the big machine, but then they try to, strike down or, dim the light of the person that chose the different route to put in the work. Or not necessarily that they're not putting in the work, but they chose to, grind a little bit harder, because you got to grind a little bit harder because you dependent on yourself. You putting out, it's just you. So you gonna sink or you gonna swim. On the other side, when you got that big machine, you got everybody helping you. Everybody's hand is out. You want this, you want airplay, you want this, you want that, you want to be on the top 100, top 10, you got to pay. So they got these big machines paying for them. That's how they get up there first. But, the people who are grinding that out like a Cat Williams or like a Corey Holcomb that, I'm going to do this my way, the way I want to do it. And I'm going to front the money.
And I'm gonna pick it back off that E. While the other people got their big machine behind them, they just about near broke. But the one that independent doing this tour, doing all this, who all they got to pay? They ain't hard to pay. They don't have to pay hardly nobody, do they?
Right. And they may not be making as much as them, but they doing it their way. I think it's a if you love what you do and you doing it your way, then it's not really about being, uber rich or a super millionaire. It's the fact that, you're doing your craft the way you want to do it.
And not only that, you're doing what you want to do, but you can look yourself in the mirror and know you don't have a battery in your back. Nobody owns you. Nobody can just tell you what to do. Nobody can just tell you, you are doing it your own way, and you can lay down at night and feel happy within yourself, that you don't have to do a bunch of stuff or whatever to be in the in crowd.
Right. And I think what Cat Williams was saying again with the fact of, when you get to a certain point in your career, why not bring up the next person? Why not create another you? Why not build another you? Because you know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? But most of these people, they're not doing that. They get to their part, they get to their accolade. Yeah, they may help a little bit, shout you out here and there, but they not really taking you under their wing, giving you the game, passing the torch. You know what I'm saying?
Did you notice one of the things he said about Shannon Sharp asked him about the Migos, and he said, "Did you help them get out of a, financial, whatever?" And he didn't come out and say, yes or no. It's obvious that he did, you know what I mean? But
right.
he was so humble enough to basically kind of he didn't give himself credit for helping them out or answer. He didn't even answer the question, but you get the gist of the conversation that he did, help him out in some sort of way, form, or fashion when they had some financial issues. And he just basically said that, that was his job to help. Just like he paid for that lady to be on the Walk of Fame. You know what I mean?
Right.
The dude is standing on something. You know what I mean? That he stands on principles that he believes in, and not just going with the norm.
Right. Yeah, you're right about that. Hey, E, I want you to read. Don't read. I want E to read this right here. It's gonna make her smile. Go ahead, E. Read what. We got to read what we got to get some update.
It says at Sirius S Virgo from Georgia. Salute, much love. Raiders smiling away and doing so good, getting stronger every day. Just turned 18 months old, not sitting up yet, but is trying so hard. That is amazing. That is amazing. God bless. God bless Raiders mom.
Salute.
That baby's
yeah. Go ahead.
Everybody's prayers. So
prayers
of the righteous availeth much.
You're covered, Miss. You're covered, Raiders mama. You're covered.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know what? It make what we do and hearing that put life in perspective. What Cat Williams does, what people like him does, that we don't know what they do. They don't want the credit. It just we do it because we love doing it, and that's what the big wheels don't get, do they? Do they get it? They don't get it. Damn.
No.
Look at I'm look. I guarantee all three of us and people in the chat. Sure, we were mind not have to worry about paying bills and all that stuff and have this and have that. Shoot, we wouldn't mind having it, but I'm not going to stoop that low. I got I got self integrity not to go that low. I got much self respect, and that what that's why they demanded Cat Williams for, because he got more self respect for himself than they do for their own self. And guess what? And they family stuck in the middle of their mess too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Respect Timo.
Salute to you, Timo. Salute, bro.
Hey, Timo. Salute.
Well, I guarantee you, Shannon Sharp, boy, he's glad that he let him talk, because this is going to go viral for a little bit, man.
Yes.
And Shannon Sharp, to your point, E, when you was talking about in your car chronicles, Shannon Sharp is always prepared. He always asks the right questions at the right time. But I'm glad on this occasion because Cat Williams, man, he just went in on the first minute. He just started going in. Well, actually it's longer than that, but he just, whenever he introduced him, he just went in he just went in for 30 minutes straight. Just went in before he started asking him about his upbringing and all that. So I'm just glad that he just, he had the intuition just to go ahead and take his first mind, let him go ahead and speak his mind and whatnot, and this has caused a domino effect, and now this dude has gone viral,
Yeah, Shannon Sharp Club Shay. This interview went viral. It's already at last one I was.
I think it's at 5, something like that.
What's it at now?
I think it was at 5. I think, but don't quote me on that.
2.6 or 2.5 million. I mean, right after when it shut down yesterday, when he ended the interview, I mean, I kid you not, the things just started flooding with Cat Williams. I mean, people was just ready. I think they was just screenshotting and everybody just went ham yesterday.
He's at 11 million now.
Oh my God, yeah. He was smart. I was glad that he just got the content, because he told Gil, because he did an after show with Gil, and he was like, at first he was like, I don't know. He's like, should I stop it? Should I cut in and be like, let's get back to the questions? He's like, I just let it ride. I was like, you did the perfect thing by letting this man just talk. You just let him talk. And he came there with that intention. You can tell. He came there with that intention.
Well, because the people that he spoke on him. You know what I mean? So he had of course, when you got somebody that's speaking on you and you can't speak for yourself, and he had the opportunity to clap back at him, I don't blame him one bit at all.
Right. Do stuff like this. I wish you can have like a round table with all of them, but you can't get all of them in the same room to talk about this stuff.
Dude, that'd be fine. They'd be fine. Let me read this encouragement message to us. She is encouraging us. She said, Jay wanted to say that this channel, I guess she watches this channel every night. She just about been in the chat every night. She said she got to listen to. I don't know how much she said. Had I guess bless. I guess we blessed her with encouragement, strength, and even enjoyment. She said God led her here, and she been embraced ever since. So
Yes, you have.
we've been doing something. We doing something right. Jacob, big dog, if you can't come, bring your butt on up here. No, you won't. So don't even think about it. Raw
Salute,
Lace, Raw Lace, respect. Who else came in here? Uh, we're gonna take a commercial break, right? Yeah. I put myself on mute. We will be back, and like I said, this is open panel. I said I'm gonna play. Here we go.
Hey, you guys, I had to make a correction, you guys. This is a saying that Armando says all the time. I can't do it quite like him, but you can see the other design I created at the bottom. But he says, it sounds good. It sounds good. But in real life, though, I can't do it like Armando. He's the original king behind that. So I hope you guys like my designs. These are going to go on cups and t-shirts. So don't forget to hit that like button, post notification button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for supporting me and loving me. April Showers. Thank you, D Truth. Thank you, Renrock TV. Thank you, Armando Black. Thank you, B Rob. Thank you, Dr. Silverback Luther King. Thank you, ETV. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you to all those people that have accepted me. I truly appreciate you. Thank you.
She had to say that, didn't she? About you, Silverback.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Together, man. And Renrock TV. He just gave me I don't know if he was in the chat, D Truth, in Renrock's chat, but he just gave me a shirt on GP, and I really appreciate him and her, and I look forward to getting that T-shirt.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this right here. This is, I think, did we hit it on this topic a little bit in when our past one of these past live? We kind of touched on this a little bit. We didn't dive right into it, but now we'll dove right into it. When somebody, like, why do people throw rocks at your house knowing they got a glass house themselves?
deflection.
I agree. That's the main reason why folks do that.
Folks, how y'all doing?
Oh man, hey,
Big
if y'all
dog.
did, if y'all didn't see his live today, his little short live today, boy, you had me rolling.
Yeah,
You had me rolling.
I was in the chat.
Man, I had to tell y'all what be going on out here, man. These people crazy, bro. These people
Oh,
crazy.
we know Hollywood crazy too now.
Oh yeah,
Wait,
man.
what you
Hold
think
on.
about Cat Williams?
Now let me ask. Now the topic tonight is cat, or is it the why women like why single women like married men?
Right?
Oh, we gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that other
I'm not.
part.
I can't thug it with you all night tonight. I got a 5 a.m.
Oh, but they gonna be. We're gonna stay with since the Cat Williams still hot, so I
Oh,
kind of went
oh,
with it.
all right. So we on Cat Williams. All right. I wholeheartedly agree because I'm a Cat Williams fan. I've been following Cat Williams since he came out. And bottom line, he is exposing so the only details he didn't go into is who gave up the booty for fame? What man gave up the booty for fame? I saw Ricky Smiley come with a sense of humility this morning as a certain clapback. So how he played it was he played it like he was congratulating Cat Williams on the part, but Ricky Smiley name bombed Cat Williams first. He was on his show name bombing Cat Williams. So bottom line is, Cat Williams just basically because the reason why they tried to blackball Cat Williams because he was basically independent. Everything he was doing was independent. Those guys are industry. When they couldn't get Cat Williams to go industry, that's when they started trying to blackball him.
Yep.
Facts.
Hey, I got to agree with that.
At one point, there was a point, since you a big Cat Williams fan, Jacob, it was a point when Cat Williams was down with what was Cameron's little set?
Dipset.
Dipset. Remember, do you ever remember when he did a comedy show? I can't remember, but Cameron came out and kind of like the chain on the Dipset chain on him.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But I don't know what happened with that. I don't know what happened with him and Dipset.
Well, is a faction where you outgrow certain entities. All right, he was down with them, but it was more of a collabo. You see what I'm saying? It was more of a collabo. You know what I mean? They did a thing at the time. But what it is, Cat Williams started growing. And he basically started growing in the Dipset brand. He was his own brand. So, you know, with that, he branched out. Because you got to think about Dipset was really earlier in his career.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So he started growing. And you remember, I think it was the Pimp Chronicles. Or he did one where he did a tour. And you remember, you know that funny heavyset lady comedian with the short hair? He had her on one of his tours, so he started trying to bring his own people. The problem was certain things started happening where it got to Hollywood, and that's when they stopped. You know, that's when they stopped. They started him with the law, with the Suge Knight situation. Him and Suge Knight, basically the law started fucking with him. You know what I mean? Because when he got in trouble, don't nobody even know what he got in trouble for.
True. And that woman was Lunel.
Mm-hmm.
She from Oakland.
Yep. So like I wholeheartedly agree with him. I just didn't know Ricky Smiley was. But see, it's a such thing as just like you two, all them comedians started trying to team up and blackball Cat Williams because Cat Williams was getting bigger than them. You know what I mean? And he was about to blow up. Then that's when they planted Kevin Hart. But see, Cat Williams was kind of exposing a lot of that government shit too. So when he started talking that political shit, that's when they started going after him.
Right. Like David Chappelle in his own right.
Mm-hmm. They tried to do David Chappelle the same way. The whoever David Chappelle told you about his contract, the first contract that he was in, and he was like, basically he didn't make no money in that contract.
Yep. And then that second contract blew his mind.
Mm-hmm. Because he was independent.
Okay, it scared that man to Africa. He's like, I got the gold.
Michael Blackston.
I don't remember. See, Dubs keeps talking about Michael Blackston and Kevin Hart. That Michael Blackston brought Kevin Hart to the industry. I don't remember Michael Blackston being, that big.
Yeah, no, he Kevin Hart came in before Michael Blackston.
That's what I thought, and he came in like, I mean, nobody knew him. He came in on Soul Plane, and everybody. I was like, who is he? Who this little ninja?
Mm-hmm. Now I mean, so bottom line is, look here, but he need to watch himself because he is exposing. In other words, he was throwing you breadcrumbs about. You remember he said he had to turn down $50,000 four times, 50,000 or 50 million 4 times from Diddy. So basically, he telling you some of these people accepted the money from P Diddy to let P Diddy play with the Virgin Hope.
Right.
I think
I
it
think it was
was 50
50
million.
million.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and
It
he
was
also,
50.
what did he say?
Okay.
You know, go downtown. And he told him,
Okay. Uh, Raiders mama wanted to ask her for continued prayers. They found a place in turn an application or waiting for anyone knows or resource that help with moving costs. Please reach out. She is Spokane, Washington. Hey, prayers always up. First for you and that baby boy and your family.
Yeah, she's
But
staying
she's
on the
staying on the
west.
west. It's
It's
expensive. It's
expensive over
expensive
there.
over there. Yeah, at least they found a place. Just waiting for the application. Hey, hope they get in there. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Yeah.
All
But
praises to Yahshua.
yep. I'm gonna ask y'all three this question. All right, y'all y'all get a chance to get Cat Williams at y'all comedy club at a showcase, right? But the big wig, the power of the beat, come to y'all like y'all can't y'all not gonna be able to do this. You won't be able to have no big event no more if y'all have Cat Williams. What do y'all do?
This is America, and I don't know how the hell you feel like. I don't know who the hell you think you is coming in my establishment telling me what I can and can't do. I pay the cost over here.
Yeah, that, and then I would expose them.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go to the highest mountaintop and shout, these people, name them by name, these people tried to blackball me and said so and so, and they did this, and they are corrupt, and y'all watch out for them. That's exactly what I would do.
yeah, that would be a hard. I definitely wouldn't bow down um, with regards to having him there. I mean, maybe move the venue, but I mean, one monkey ain't gonna stop no show. So that's how I look at it.
What they say? What they're saying is, racism ain't new. It's just being recorded.
Correct.
Yes, sir, buddy. Yes, sir, buddy. Put you right on camera saying that shit.
Exactly. Nowadays, it's easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You're right.
to answer your question, uh, exposure, cover that. You know, if that was to happen to me, and they threatened me, I would be sure to cover my ass, make sure all my T's are crossed, I's are dotted, and I would expose the hell out of whoever tried to stop me.
See, with me, my place gonna have cameras. I'm talking about the good cameras that not the grabbing kind. I'm talking about the good kind. You know what I'm saying? That can see your face real good.
Yeah. The lip
The lip
reading,
reading,
the
hmm
volume. I need it
the
all.
volume on. I need all of that. Okay, and then I'm gonna put them on blast. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
come on, cat. Come on, cat. Oh, we got you. Come on in here. Go ahead and do your show.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, especially if I got a chance to sell out my place, a business, or sell out an event with Cat Williams.
Exactly.
You think I'm gonna pass up that chance?
Who? More than listen. See, I keep pistols on me. I might pull on
Hey,
Okay.
Jason, Jason, Silverback, if I came and told y'all, I passed up opportunity to have Cat Williams as the main attraction at an event, y'all been on cussing me out. Y'all wouldn't even want to talk to me no more, would you?
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, come in, D Troop, and I'm gonna put like the mama used to do, put your hand on the top of your head and see if you got a fever.
Something wrong with you.
I would have to talk bad to you, bro. I'd have to say, what the hell is you thinking? What is you thinking?
Cat Williams? Shit, who? Hey, look, that's a no-brainer.
Right? I'll be like, okay, you don't want to do it. Well, give me his number. I will find a venue for that brother. I'll make it happen.
Yes, sir. I absolutely. When I saw the interview, yes, Cat Williams is back.
Yeah, he be on some mess. I definitely love it.
Like I said,
But hey, check this out. You know what I just thought about right here? That is, they try to get rid of Cat Williams, right? They talked about Cat Williams. No, they did. They put him back in the spotlight.
Yep.
How dumb is that?
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. None of the rest of these guppies ain't funny. Cat Williams, look here. Every time I would watch the Cat Williams stand-up sitcom or whatever, bruh, I was in there about to choke and losing my breath. That man's so funny.
Exactly. He's very talented. He's stand up. He's played in sitcoms. He's played in movies. He's played serious, characters in movies. He's an all around talent. It's kind of hard to find that in comedy these days.
dude is a genius, man. Like I said, I mean, the dude, he's a genius. For him, like I said, the whole Wanda Smith thing, she brought him on the show, she said she wasn't going to bring up any personal things or whatever. She ended up, you know, trying to violate him on the show. And he just roasted her. You know what I mean? In a professional, I mean, he didn't call her out of her name or anything. He roasted her. And it was just brilliant the way he did it. You know, you have to be, that's with that type of talent, man, you are brilliant. You know what I'm saying? You're born with that, but that dude there, man, he's just a genius. I've always, and that's the reason why people these days, they just go with the flow. You know what I mean? Oh, Kevin Hart, he's funny. He's a funny. Come on, man. I mean, come on, man. That he ain't got nothing on Cat. None of these dudes do. You know what I mean?
Cat Williams, he's all right, but when they say stuff like that, you can't. To me, you just can't compare. He's
No,
in a different lane. It's comedians have different lanes. You got the ones that's they do they impersonations. What is that? What's his name that got hit with the pedo? Him and Tiffany Haddish. What was his name?
The pedophile, the pedos.
Yeah, the pedo dude.
Aries Spears.
Aries Spears. He used to always. He known for what his little. He sounds just like DMX. He also knows how to sound like Jay-Z. He has his lane. Can he compare to a cat? No. Steve Harvey. That's that old school, church mama, Ricky Smiley, all of them, they all got that same type of flow, that same type of comedy. You can't compare him. He's at a different level. That's why I said I almost felt like he was punching down because they make a lot of money. They're on TV shows, game shows, blah, 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 blah. But he's not. He's at a totally different level. Totally different level. You can't even compare them. You can't even next to them.
And, like I said, the one thing that I took away from all the exposure that he was, exposing these cats or whatever, the one thing I took away from that, and it motivated me personally, is the fact that he said, invest in yourself. You know what I mean? Do it your way. And when you invest in yourself, you might not be like, you might not be going with the flow like everybody else. You might not be going what's popular today. But when you invest in yourself, you're still going to win. You know what I mean? That's what I took away from the whole situation. This dude here, with him being blackballed, with him being lied on, with him, people talking smack about him, and, he invested himself and he's doing what he loves to do. And he's winning.
Right. Regardless. Just like Timo said, KATT is still profitable. Yeah, he's still profitable. And that's just point blank, period. He's still doing 100 city tours.
Shit, think about it. He might do more. He might do more now. Come more people might want to see. Oh, let me book him. See why everybody talking about it.
Yeah. Especially since he don't viral.
Yeah. And that is crazy. See, we don't respond to none of that BS no more, right? That's the best response, ain't it, to something that is not true. But if the person said, if he says something that's not true, why are you going to respond?
Right. That's just them getting ahead of everything and trying to cover themselves. That's just Hollywood, as Sis says. It's Hollywood trying to get ahead of the curve.
Well, they messed up real. They kind of missed that curve, didn't
they? Big time.
I mean, at the end of it's exposure for him. He may not have come on there talking about he got comedy shows or whatever, but I guarantee you, if he got any shows in 2024 because of this interview and because of this interview going so viral and Mickey Ficky's responding to it, if he is touring, KATT Williams is touring this year, then he definitely gonna sell out at this point. So it is what it is.
And man, I'm just waiting on Corey Holcomb to respond on all of this. You know what I mean? That's just one of those things where I'm waiting on it. And then I'm waiting on E to do her Car Chronicles. Oh, we're gonna speak about Corey Holcomb. He spoke about what we was talking about. E go, D Truth, she gonna be on top of it. You hear me?
Corey Holcomb, I leave Corey Holcomb in his lane. Corey Holcomb cracked me the hell up.
That dude there is hilarious. You hear me? Hilarious. Okay. You know what I mean? Not only is he, on top of his business and telling the truth and just a man's man and dancing to the beat of his own drum, but the dude is hilarious. You're right.
Right. Let me see. Has he said anything? I'm finna look.
I know you finna look.
We already know. Like I told you, we do the research.
Yep.
What'd you say?
He hasn't said. Wait. No, he hasn't said anything yet.
Nope. He will. I guarantee he will. He's just, he's strategic. One thing about that dude, whenever there's things that happen in media and happen in the world, he's on top of it, and he's going to do it in a strategic way. You know what I mean? And he's going to do it in his. He will. I guarantee you.
Yeah, he will.
I'm still stuck on she got us hanging.
Oh yeah, man. E, look, man. Let me tell you, D Truth. E is one of them females, man, that should have her own television show. You know what I mean? She Wanda Sykes and what's the other chick? Tasha K ain't got nothing on E when it comes to real life information. Shit, E is on top of it.
She got me beat.
man, Tasha K ain't got nothing on you, E.
I respect Tasha, but she going in her own direction, boy.
Yeah, but it cost her.
Like the old saying said, it might cost you a little, it might cost you a lot,
right?
but it's gonna cost you.
Okay. Timo said, what did he put? Can you put Timo? What Timo said up there? He said the only people that made me laugh nonstop is Cat Williams, Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, and was it and the legend? Or I think he said those are the legends. I agree.
He said, and a legend.
And a legend. Absolutely.
I have to
Some
agree
people
with
don't
that.
like Dave Chappelle. I like Dave Chappelle. Is he super funny? No, but he just, to me, I like comedy that's gonna make me think a little bit. I don't like to be just laughing just to be laughing sometimes. Sometimes I want to laugh and it have a purpose.
Yeah, man. I grew up on Eddie and Richard Pryor and guys like that. So Timo, I have to agree with you on that, man.
I miss Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac, yeah. Bernie Mac was the only funny one on that Kings of Comedy tour. And when you start learning about how everybody came out and said that Steve Harvey was jealous of the dude, it all makes sense. You know what I mean? It all makes sense. You notice how Cat Williams said that Steve Harvey he bit off of Curry.
Like Mark Curry.
Yeah, Mark Curry. And I'm like, man, all of this makes sense. This dude had, hanging with Miss Cooper. This dude has the Steve Harvey show, just nothing original. You know what I mean? Nothing original. So it all makes sense.
Yeah, everybody can't find. So
it all makes sense.
Not Lavelle Crawford. The only people that really made me laugh was Cat, Eddie, Dave, Lavelle Crawford, and the legendary Robin Harris, Bebe's kids.
Yeah, yep. Robin Harris he's legend, man.
Yeah, him and Bernie Mac, they definitely gone too soon. They was just hitting their stride. Both of them.
Yeah, you're right, Robin Harris. Like that little baby, like you are not trying to leave us, are you? So we baby kids.
He was just hitting his stride.
Yeah, man.
But this right here is just what we be talking about. What people selling their soul for a little nothing, while these other like people like us and Cat Williams out here on the grind, getting in front of the mud. We ain't gotta pay all the mother folks, bodyguards, all them folks.
Yep. I think you on mute.
I was on mute, but we'll tell you gonna do the other part since you left off with the cliffhanger.
Yeah. I'm gonna talk about that because, but I'm not, I'm not going to disparage or anything like that. It's just more so about, pay, because that, again, that's my wheelhouse. I did a lot of compensation analysis and stuff like that before, and I'm just gonna talk about pay. Pay disparities, and just a few things that I think is need to be said from my personal perspective.
I was. Oh, my bad. Okay, I will say this. You said a lot of things about that as far as the pay. That's also a teaching moment too. We might not be millionaires like these folks are, but as far as handling your business and being on top of your business, before you sign on the dotted line with anything, you need to make sure your ducks are all in a row. And if you're not understanding, if you don't have an understanding of a contract or something that you're signing, you need to take some legal action or something, or have a lawyer, or have someone that is knowledgeable in the money field, and just ask for help. Hey, can you stand in with me and help me while I'm dealing with this business? You know what I mean? Because you might be, you might be lowballing yourself. You know what I mean? So this goes to show you that even in Hollywood, there's miseducation. There's misinformation. When it comes to your personal business, you sign on a dotted line on stuff and you are not getting compensated, or you agreed to something but you didn't expect it to be whatever. That's your fault. You know what I mean? So you're gonna have to educate yourself, and you're gonna have to understand what you're getting yourself into before you get into it.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's in Hollywood, that's
everywhere, anywhere.
anything, any type of when you go for a job and they give you a contract, they want you to sign a contract, they hire you, they want to hire you, and they'll give you an offer letter. That offer letter is still negotiable. Just because they put, welcome to the company, da 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 da, we're willing to offer you blah blah blah. Until you sign, you can still negotiate.
Right.
But a lot of people are just, you want to work, and you just sign. You just say okay. Right. I'm thankful to California because we have what's called pay transparency in California. So now you have any type of job opportunity in California, has to have the pay range on it.
Right.
So you'll see from the minimum to, quote unquote, the maximum. Obviously there's some buffers in there, but we have the pay transparency now because a lot of folks don't know how to negotiate.
Exactly.
They don't know that they can ask for more. They don't know that they can, come to the table and say, this is nice, but based on my experience and, what I bring to the table, and kind of voice what you bring to the table, what you've done with other companies and how you've implemented this and done that, da, 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 you can still negotiate. But most people don't understand that and don't know that.
And that's like I said, man, I look at things with interviews with Katt Williams, and he was controversial, bringing out whatever in a lot of people's eyes. But when it came to the business aspect, and he was talking about his money, or what he was asked about his money situation, when he's talking about Taraji, my eyes just kind of like lit up, because one of the goals that I have this year is to be on top of my business more when it comes to, money, when it comes to business. You can't be too proud to look into things or ask for guidance when it comes to that. D-Truth is always talked about, knowing the laws, knowing your laws, knowing what's what in your city or in your county, in your state. Just like you was talking about, about pay scales and stuff like that, meaning the transparency and stuff like that. When it comes to your business, you got to be on top of that. You have to be on top of your game. It's just point blank, period. You know what I'm saying? So I learned not only about the, what's going on in Hollywood, which I already knew, but I also personally, I took away from that what I can do better for myself business wise. Don't sign into anything that you don't understand. Or if you do understand it, question yourself. Am I lowballing myself? Am I making the right decisions? Talk with someone, you know what I mean, before you sign on the dotted line on stuff like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're right. D-Truth does speak to that a lot about, knowing your laws. I'm impressed because a lot of laws I don't, I ain't into the laws like that, but D-Truth does break it down.
Yeah, D-Truth is on top. He said, I know the laws.
I know the laws.
I know the laws.
Exactly.
Oh, look, y'all talking about me behind my back.
Hey, no,
But like I say, you got to know the laws. Then there's people in our community. We know there's some that can't read. There's some can read, but we understand. We can understand for some of those that can't read. You know what I'm saying? But for the ones that can read, and you don't read that fine print, you probably don't sold your soul already. You know what I'm saying? So, and for the one that can't read, y'all need to start learning how to read.
It's never
It's
too
never
late.
too late.
No, cause you might get a contract. It might say they're gonna pay you. The job might say they might uh, say gonna pay about $25. Let's go with that. But yet they put it down $15 an hour
Yeah.
Yeah.
just because you can't read.
Exactly. But you,
They're
but you,
gonna put
They
it in
gonna put it in there.
there. You read.
right.
If you don't read it, you know, you gonna get done.
Exactly. Exactly.
Exactly.
That what you, hey, sit back. That what you be doing to the folks.
Man,
Man.
they don't accuse me of doing that, D Truth, but I'm like, no, no.
So what you give them a fair offer.
I give them a
I
fair
give them a
offer.
fair
Man.
offer, man.
I give them a fair offer,
I,
and
I'm,
then I
I'm gonna check that. Hey,
Fair offer.
E,
And then I
E. I'm gonna test that. Look, I'm gonna test that theory right now.
Uh-oh.
I can't work over there. Where you at, Silverback? All right. You already know my experience. What would I get paid?
man, I'd have to
man, I'd
tell
have
you
to
what
tell
your,
you
I,
that your I
with
with
you and
you and
your
your
friends, I had to say what your price is. What's your price?
No, no,
See, that's how
no,
they
no, no, no.
What'd you say? What'd you say, Maggie?
Look,
that's how
see,
you
that's how
you
you
say what
I already know. I already know that. You forgot. I've
salary.
experienced.
I didn't hear you eat. What'd you say? What'd you say?
I said that's how they get you. That's how they get you when you go, oh, what are you looking for? What's your hourly rate? What's your salary range that you're looking for?
I'm sorry.
Anytime you never answer that question. If I can tell you anything, try to stay away from answering that question. You always say, what does this position pay? What's the pay range for this position? Don't ask me what I want. Tell me what this position pays.
I cannot, whenever I'm interviewing someone, I don't ever ask that. They always ask me that question. And my answer is we will discuss, and if I can't get to that what you want, I will talk to my superiors and I will fight for you to get that pay.
Hey, that sound like a supervisor answer right there.
Exactly.
exactly.
And I
And I
know.
know
I know that. See, hey, feel bad. You already know that wasn't gonna work. That would not work on me, don't you?
I already
I already
know.
know.
So why you gonna come with that question?
No, but I
No, but I
said
said
you, I would.
I would.
Hey, what are you looking for? What did you? But even though look, you ain't fooling nobody. You used to work in HR. I work closely with HR, so I know that's a teachable moment to our kids. Hey, do not answer that question. Do not ask. Blah blah blah. But we all, we all have to.
You have to learn.
You have to learn.
Some people just won't tell you. I mean, I've had interviews like that where they just won't tell you. Even the candidate, they won't tell you what they're looking for. And I try to let them know that, look, I'm what's your pay range? You're like, I don't really know. People fight for what you want. I don't really know. I just, I'm really excited about the opportunity, and then you get them and offer them the job and you give them You give them what you want to pay them. Oh, that wasn't really what I was looking for. Okay, you should have said that up front. I asked you up front. So I always say, what's your deal breaker?
Well,
what is your deal breaker? What are you willing? If you don't get this amount, what's your deal breaker?
Well, see, on either on your, whenever I interview people in that, basically they put on their resume sometimes they put on a resume how much they're looking for. And then on our intercompany applications, it actually asks you, what is your pay rate? What is your pay range and what you're looking for? So I go by the application that they that they filled out and then go from there. And I can only be fair. You know what I'm saying? If I feel like someone is well qualified and I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm looking for, I really am going to fight for them, because I think that person is going to, be it's going to be a service to me and what I'm trying to do. But, unfortunately, a lot of people, a lot of bosses are not going to have my same mindset. You know what I'm saying? They're going to try to lowball you just to, just like you and I talked about, E. A lot of people are just going to try to protect the bottom line. You know what I mean? A lot of these companies are trying to, not to put out that much labor, because they have goals in mind. You see what I'm saying? But me, I've always look at this. If you got someone who has the experience to help you out, they're going to help you with that bottom line. You know what I mean? In the long run.
Right. And that's the same with, I think that's what we're talking about with Taraji. That's the thing. It ain't no different. It's just a different level. It is no different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The bottom line is she didn't negotiate. She did not negotiate. I don't care what she said, she did not negotiate. I guarantee you she went in there with, oh, this is Oprah, this is Tyler Perry. They probably kikied it up. They fed her a bunch of, this is going to be big for you. You're going to make, you're going to be able to capitalize on this. If you do it for this amount. And she's been hearing that for so long. She's been playing this game for so long. He said, Ted DiBiase.
I'm the $1 million man. I always get my man.
Okay. It's just like anybody can be bought.
Oh my God. Oh, by the way, this is a commercial break within the commercial break, D-Truth.
Right.
You remember when DiBiase bought what was her name with
Dusty Rose?
Oh yeah, Dusty Rose. And what was the black chick's name? Sapphire. You remember that?
Ooh,
She
yeah.
turned on him.
But you know what? I forgot where she came from, but that was that was a good twist though. But that right there, all right. Since you look here, let's just say your job was 25, right?
My job was what?
It was $25, right?
Okay.
And I said, I want 30.
Okay.
And you know what else I'll come back with? Oh, there's other place down the street want to pay me. You said, okay, I give you 26. I said, okay, I'm going down here to this other place, give me 30. And you know I'm best at what I'm at the best of what I do, right? What you gonna do?
I'm gonna do mine.
You gonna what?
I'm gonna do my investigation. See if he's telling the truth. Because 9 times out of 10, 99.9% of the time, if that's what he says that's I gonna have some colleagues of mine that I've known for years that are with that company. I'm like, hey man, I got this, how much You know what I mean? How much y'all offering him? If it's not telling the truth, I'll be like, hey man, I know you offer 30, but $27 is my last offer. You know what I mean? I'm gonna make you come out of the bushes.
But look here. But the only problem you have, you got them hard headed folks that ain't gonna go down. They're gonna say 36. You want to do that? Make it 32. And then guess what? Knowing the person that come there and get that interview and tell you their price, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your boss comes down there. Oh, where did that guy go? Where did the guy go? Oh, I couldn't hire. He wanted too much. What? Then your head on the platter.
It depends on the job.
Yeah. Exactly. It could end that way, but
right.
In my 27 years of being in what I've been in, that's never happened to me.
But I'm just giving folks another kind of scenario that do happen. That do happen. But in our line of work, that ain't gonna happen.
No, that ain't. You already know. We talk on the back end. On our line of work, that's not gonna happen. Because I could tell a BSer from you can't BS a BSer. You know what I'm saying? So me, I've been doing this for a long time. You know, when you build a repertoire with people and you build a confidence whenever you're around, when you're interviewing thousands of people throughout the years, you know what I'm saying? You pretty much know what you're going to get. You know what I mean? So, it's all about negotiating, being fair, what I call fair, firm, and just being just being doing business the right way. It's going to come back to it's going to be profitable in the end for you. What do you think about that, E?
No, I agree with that. And to answer Dee's question, I would have let you go. If you said you could get 30 down the street and I know I can't offer you 30.
I was just going to say that.
That's the best place for you. I ain't going to stop your hustle.
I was just going to say that. And you know what? That's when possibly I would kind of tip my cards and be like, yeah, I know you said such and such, but I can't go higher. If you want to leave, that's fine. But I know people that, work down that way, blah, 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 blah. I'm not quite sure that's what you're going to get, but I wish you luck. I appreciate everything that you've done as far as with our interview and giving us time, blah, blah, blah. I'd let you go.
Yeah. But sometimes people do that to see how you'll go. You see what I'm saying? That called negotiation. You said 25, he want 30. 27, that's in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
what I'm saying.
That though.
Yeah.
You gotta let it ride. You gotta unless now, if you said you making 30, I sometimes, and I have asked people, prove it. Show me your offer letter. If I feel they're worth it, and I feel that, I could possibly, go to, the manager and possibly, squeeze a little bit more, prove it. Show me your offer letter. Where you saying you getting this? If they offered you the position higher, show me the offer letter.
That's a good point, E. That's a very good point.
And then I have to prove, look, he's already been offered, this is his offer letter. They want him to start in 2 weeks. Is there anything you can do? Do you want him that bad?
Yeah. You're right about that. This is a teachable moment for y'all people that gonna watch the replay. This is a teachable moment. They were like, what they got this thing to do with Katt Williams? It's a whole lot of things that got to do with Katt Williams.
Yeah, this is more range of Taraji P. Henson and her negotiation.
Exactly. And he was asked about it and he said it was sad. And it is sad because that on $1 million Hollywood motion picture standpoint, someone was not handling their business and on top of their business. And this is a teachable moment to anybody listening to us right now. Whether, like you just said, E, and what I just said, whatever business venture that you're into, this is a teachable moment for you to be on top of your business. Know what you're doing. Know how to negotiate. Educate yourself. If you're unsure about yourself, then if you're sure about yourself and what you're getting into, don't be afraid to reach out to someone who is to help you negotiate.
Timo.
Right.
Timo, put that Drake down.
Okay.
With your capo.
He put black. That's that spell check, that auto check.
He said, Timo, you something else, bro.
Yeah, I didn't know for Michael. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't really, like I said, I didn't know Michael Blackson until I don't even know what he be saying half the time when he was doing his comedy. All I knew was what did he used to say? F you nigga.
Yeah.
He used to make it seem, in his Nigerian or whatever I don't know if he's Kenyan, Nigerian, or Guyanan, but that accent.
I first noticed that fool on the Apollo. That's when I first noticed Michael Blackson on the Apollo. He was on the Apollo.
Okay. I don't remember him on there. With Steve Harvey? When Steve Harvey was hosting it?
Yes, that's when I first noticed him on the Apollo. Other than that, his accent.
You say motherfucker. You motherfucker?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what he used to say.
And when he got on the Friday movies with, Ice Cube, was it Ice Cube? Was it Friday with Ice Cube?
Yeah.
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 So, but yeah, man, this is and I will say this here. Shannon Sharp. You mentioned Shannon Sharp in your Car Chronicles, about when he interviewed Katt Williams. He motivates me as well, especially when it comes to this social media platform, interviewing people, being prepared and knowing when to feel the interview process and letting it take its course. He went with his first mind to go ahead and let it go. You know what I mean? Shannon Sharp is always well prepared. He's always asking the right questions. He's always on point on that. You know what I mean? You notice when he said to Gil, a lot of interviews he thought that was going to be viral and they didn't happen that way. You know what I mean? But with this one, it just, he knocked it out of the ballpark. And so it takes a special person with a special personality to handle what he did with Katt Williams. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think anybody else would be able to. I can't think of anybody else that would have handled that interview process better. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Shannon Sharp. I don't agree with everything he says, but I like the way he handles business in certain aspects. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially on I like him and Skip Bayless. I like Skip Bayless anyways, but him and Skip Bayless, I was like, why is he on here? Why is he dealing with this man? I definitely like seeing him more in his own element.
Right. In my opinion, he was too big for that because, people viewed him as a big old dumb jock. And the dude is not. He's very knowledgeable in not only football, of course, he's a Hall of Famer, but he's very knowledgeable in everything, you know what I mean? Social issues. Now, like I said, I might not agree with a lot of stuff that he says.
He say, yeah.
but at least he's well prepared. At least he's on top of his business, and then he's got other business ventures. That's motivating to me. As a as a man that's myself that has goals, that's very motivating. You know what I mean? So
I know why you really don't like it.
What is it?
What is it?
He played for the Green Bay Packers.
That's why I didn't like him.
That too. When he played, and his hatred for the Cowboys, exactly.
Yeah, he was like, I didn't like him then. Well, no, he played for Denver Broncos.
Yeah, he played
the
for
Broncos.
Denver.
Yeah,
Baltimore.
yeah. See, now I see why.
Yeah. I don't you know, I learned to respect him watching Club Shay Shay because I definitely didn't like him when he was on there with Skip Bayless. I was like, oh my God, this is just.
Oh, you didn't like his perspectives with Skip, or
I didn't like the back and forth with him and Skip. I understood it, but I just don't like Skip Bayless, so I'm not a fan of Skip Bayless at all. So, and then
Skip,
for him to come on there, and I know he was trying, but it was never ringing true for me.
You know, Skip is, the truth to tell you, that's who he is. That's how he makes money, to be the antagonist. He goes against the grain on purpose just to make money. You know what I'm saying? And that's what draws you into Skip Bayless. You don't like him. He says controversial stuff. You know what I mean? He says off the wall stuff. He just knows how to push a fan's buttons. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
And so he was the perfect, in my opinion, he was the Shannon was the perfect guy to challenge him. And when he challenged him, that's how he got out of character and disrespected him. You see what I'm saying? So whenever you got a big old strong black man like him that knows his business, intelligent, and challenges Skip Bayless into his nonsense sometimes, that's what's going to happen. You know what I mean?
See, and that what a college education gets you. HBCU college education gets you. So I'm saying he got the mind, and you know how he let Cat Williams do his thing for 30 to 45 minutes. And you notice how sometimes on my channel, how we start one way and all of a sudden we go another way and we just go with it. Sometimes you got to do that.
Yeah, I agree.
You got to. Timo, what are you typing?
Timo, are you on that? You on that yak? The yak of the cone.
Okay.
Are you on that tequila?
I don't see what Timo, if you are on the yak, the mild and the yak. The mild and the yak.
Okay, you got that fucking mild and that yak.
That's salute to you. E, I know you might be sipping on wine too.
Actually, I'm not tonight. I'm not, because I gotta save it for tomorrow.
Oh hell. So you got me drinking.
I'm going to tell you, you're drinking by yourself tonight.
He talking to me.
Oh.
Well, you got 3 days off, so you good. So
yeah, I'm good. But after 3 days off, and I'm gonna have to go to the chiropractor and get some self-care and stuff, because I'm gonna need it, because these next week is gonna be like hell. It's gonna be 70 plus hours. You know what I mean? 15-hour work days, and it's gonna be crazy.
Do you still get overtime, double time?
No, sis. I'm on salary.
You exempt. Yep. That's the part that I hate about being exempt. Oh my God. You don't
I'm on salary.
Yeah. But one good thing about it, at least you know what you get paid.
Oh, absolutely.
At least you know.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, man. When you're on salary, you basically, the responsibility level is just, the average person can't take that, because you're basically on call 24/7. You know what I'm saying? And so dedication, that's just that's an understatement. You know what I mean? So, like for example, today I was telling TruthTV today on the back end. I was talking to him earlier this afternoon. I've been on the phone with HR for 3 hours straight about it. We had to put out an issue. You know what I mean?
You had a fire to put out.
Yes, I was on the phone with HR, and I had some employees.
He had about 2 fires put out in one day.
Yeah, 2 fires. So it was one of those things where nowadays, back in the 20, 30 years ago, when you got HR issues, HR is going to come to you, right? Now we're in the day of Zoom calls and Microsoft team meetings and stuff like that, right? So, now HR, they meet with you on Microsoft Teams. You know what I'm saying? So it's man, I could write a book about this stuff, man. It's at the end of the day, people don't understand that whenever these people talk about being bosses, I'm a boss. That's, as Armando would say, it sounds good. It sounds good. But in real life, being a boss is a lot of hard work. It's a lot of staying up late, getting up early, making decisions on the fly, being knowledgeable about what you're doing in your career, a lot of hatred on both sides of the fence, whether it's customers or employees, being the man when you really don't want to be the man, and they ask you for answers to questions, and you got to know that. All of that entails in being a boss. You know what I mean? I don't think that the average man or average person understands about being a boss and being on top of being. It's real. It sounds good in rap lyrics, and it sounds good on social media, but in real life, man, that's you
Yeah.
exactly.
And like Silver said, make him talk about like I told him about. You talking about the employees? Now here's the customer part of it. I was told too about this right here. This customer come in. Like, we have the do training. She was on register. She rung him up for wrong size, whatever. I like, okay, I fixed it. They didn't want to complain about it's hot. They didn't want us to warm it up in the microwave. No, nah, nope, thank you. Come on, mom, come on down here and get this refund. That smelled like a setup to me. Then they left trash all over the table, and the bowl of soup that we gave us to go was still on the table. I take the top off, the soup's still hot. That's and they had another customer. Somebody he have extra tomatoes on his goddamn pizza, which I counted all the tomatoes on there.
You're a fool.
And it was look, it's only supposed to got 8, but it was 12. You see what I'm saying? So he asked for extra, so we put an extra 3 or 4 on there. You know what I'm saying? Just as you got to satisfy the customer, right? But sometimes the customer is just like an employee. They see how much they can push you. And I know if Silbert like me, Silbert be one to cuss some folks, cuss the employees and the cuss them out sometimes.
Man, I'm telling you, I could write a book. I was telling the truth earlier today. We was talking on the back end, and man, when you schedule, you remember the conversation you had I think Jaco was a part of our conversation. You was talking about the bottom line, right? You was talking about you gotta be responsible for bottom line, right?
Yep.
Well, I'm glad that you said that. I'm glad that you spoke up about stuff like that, because people do not understand that, whenever you make a schedule, whenever you're in charge of people's payroll and their time cards and stuff like that, when you're trying to protect the bottom line, you're trying to always stay within your budget. That's real. You know what I mean? That is real. You know what I mean? Not only do you have to answer to the powers that be, but the people that work underneath you, because I'm just going to say this here. I think I've said this before, man. I have I got about I think it's right now about 75 people that are on my payroll. So you got every last one of those people or whatever, they got bills to pay, that they have children to feed, they got husbands, wives, so forth, so on, they got lives, you always keep that in the back of your mind. But then you have, corporate has their goals, you know what I'm saying? They have their goals that they want you to meet. You know what I mean? If you're in the red when it comes to overscheduling or just overproducing or whatever, you have to do what you have to do. You see what I'm saying? So you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. You know what I mean? So what do you do in that situation? Well, you have to do what you have to do, but in the process, you're trying to appease the people that are underneath you, but you still have a job to do. You know what I mean? So once again, like I said, being a boss, that sounds good. It sounds really good. You know what I mean? But people do not understand what entails in being a boss. You know what I mean? And so you have to be on top of your business. You have to educate yourself. You have to always stay, in the loop on things. Sometimes you got to micromanage to get to where you need to get. But, it's all a part of business.
Yep. Yeah. It's never personal. I mean, I wouldn't say most cases it's not personal when people get laid off or, things like that. Layoffs just happen every year especially for big companies. They always trim. You got to trim some of the fat, and especially if the company is not making money, they haven't reached their projected goals, and they have shareholders or startup investors who have invested millions of dollars in the company. Well, they have to answer to those people.
Exactly. I was on a conference call today, early this morning with the district supervisor, vice president, and all that stuff. And that's exactly what they were talking about. Goals. You know what I mean? So basically every company in the country, after the holidays and after everybody has spent all their money to, buy their kids the GI Joe with the Kung Fu. Yeah. The funds to buy groceries or to buy whatever, it's just not there, because and because of that, you have to adjust accordingly. You know what I'm saying? So like you said, it's not personal. It's not, it's not personal. I talked to the truth on the back end. It's not personal, but at the same time, you make business decisions to make business the way it should be.
You make decisions to make sure that the rest of the people have jobs, because if
exactly
you make the money, the company's not gonna stay in business.
Correct. But a lot of people do not understand it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but
because it comes at a horrible time. Most of the time, these layoffs come during the holidays. It's the last quarter of the year, the final quarter, and they're going over budgets. They're going over, for the fiscal new year. So it happens like that.
I was
then sit back. You get a test of this. If business slow and you got so many hours, you allowed it, right?
Exactly.
And then if business slow and you're used to earn labor is not adding up, you have to send somebody home.
Yep.
And that what gets me. I feel them, and I don't want I don't want to be one to send them home. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But yet, like you said, if you don't, it come back on you. Why do you send this person? Why do you send this person home?
Absolutely. And it's one of those things like I was making schedules, now I was making schedules this week, and it's not like, years ago when we were teenagers and we started working and a boss makes a schedule on he handwrites a schedule for everybody. And you look at you got the schedule in the break room and everybody sees your schedule and you just go accordingly. Now everything is, everything nowadays has an algorithm. Everything. You know what I mean? Social media has an algorithm. You know what I mean? Hollywood has algorithms. But your job has an algorithm. You know what I mean? They go by sales per man hour. You know what I mean? So every job that you work at now, they're making schedules and making your pay and making everything according to a algorithm. According to what business is going, how business is how your schedule is going to be made. You know what I mean? Everything is documented and there's an algorithm. You know what I mean? The system, the computers are making your schedule. They're making your whatever. You know what I'm saying? So people don't understand that. You know what I mean? Sales per man hour and the way that business is run is dictated by, it's going to be predicated upon your schedule. You know what I'm saying? So it's real, man. It's real. This is real.
It is.
And so at the end of the day, I'll tell D Truth, at the end of the day, I need my wine.
Respect to my Kelly sister Monique here don't came up in the building.
Respect.
Salute.
Yeah, it's like everything. Everybody cannot run. I've been looking like this right here so bad. Say we wind up getting a building, going to the business. We already know who's gonna be over HR. I ain't gonna call no name E. Oh, dang! Hey, did I just hold up? Did I call her name?
Yeah, you did.
Oh. Oops, that slipped out. I didn't mean to call your name.
Okay. Yeah, I've been doing that for in that business, in that profession for a long time.
I know.
But you know what? Hey, think about it. She already know us. If somebody try to come and tell her something, she already know where they're gonna be BSing.
Yep.
Especially, well, but like I said, it goes back to Cat Williams talking about Taraji and all the mother folks. And it's best if you go to that any kind of industry like entertainment industry. It best. I'm going to say it best to be independent. Would y'all agree on that?
I agree. You know what I mean? You be independent. But also, if you're going to be independent, make sure you have the right people around you to help you with your business. It's just like, D-Truth, Lamar Jackson has his mom negotiating his deals and handling his business. You know what I mean? I don't know if anybody in Hollywood, I'm sure that does maybe, but have people in place to handle your business and to look at those contracts and to look at everything in place, so that way you won't make a rash decision that will cause you to question it and be sorry in the end. You know what I'm saying? So, I would love, if I was in their position, yeah, I would want to work for myself and be independent. But if I'm going to be independent, I'm going to make sure that I have the right people in place to help me get to where I need to get. You know what I mean? To fight for.
Yeah. And picking back off what you said about Lamar Jackson mom, you know why she in that position? His father had died. She put on pads, making run routes and try to avoid him all that stuff. Go work out ran with him every morning, tossing tired. Lamar just said, shoot, she wore him out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So basically, she helped get him there. So she protected not not only if not only is she protecting her son, she protected his image, and I'm not gonna say product, but y'all know what I'm getting at with that.
Yeah.
Mhm. I understand what you're saying.
Best, she got his best interest in heart.
Mhm.
So
That just goes to show what you're saying. You have to have the right people in place to have your best interest in the forefront. You know what I mean? Just don't pick anybody. Just don't just have anybody on your team. That goes back to what you were saying, E. All these people that have all this money, and they have all of these people around them for what? You know what I mean? A lot. It's pointless to have a bunch of people on your team if they're no service to you in the end. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to be in business for yourself and you're going to be independent, have people around you that have your best interest.
Right. And I think just like in the NFL or in the NBA, when you give people money, you just automatically assume that they know what to do with it. Or like people who win the lotto, you just automatically assume that they're going to do what they should be doing. But if they don't understand, if they never knew money to begin with, then they're going to blow the money. You know what I'm saying? So when you're giving Hollywood actors, a lot of them live beyond their means because they have all this entourage, because they have all these people that they have to pay. They trying to hire family members. They trying to hire friends and giving everybody a job. But nobody's, you're not really, you got money going out, but it's not matching what needs to come in. So it doesn't make sense, but we just automatically assume that because they're famous, that they're also smart with money. And that's most of the time that just ain't the case.
You're right. Respect Tony Williams. And another thing is, yeah, you got all these people around you. I look at them just nothing but yes men and women.
Yeah, it is. I think the only person who did it well, or that in my opinion did it well. I'm no proponent for him, or he ain't one of my faves, but LeBron James, when he sent a few people around him to college and then came back and had them working for him, he invested in them, so they came back and they were able to provide him with the services he needed because he made sure that they were educated enough to help him with his business. He didn't just put like Kevin Garnett. You just got everybody on the damn payroll and you know you got a person holding your hat and you paying him like $1,000 a day just to hold your jacket and your hat. That don't make no damn sense. You just blowing money for what? Just because you brought this brother man off the street. But at the end of the day, when you lose your money, that brother man gonna be back on the street because he has nothing to offer. He ain't learned nothing. He was just holding a damn hat.
Right. We might not like LeBron, but LeBron, like you said, is on top of his business, and there's no doubt that he's handling his business correctly. You know, and everybody that's on his team is in it for his best interests.
And you know why, don't you? They better be, because his mom and his wife, they've been there from day one. You already know what it is, don't you?
Oh yeah.
What's up, Tony?
Salute,
Tony Williams.
Tony.
Hey, happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, brother. Thank you for gracing our set.
He don't got out of his seat.
I had to go and take stuff off.
Happy New Year to you, brother.
Appreciate
Happy
it.
New Year.
Grateful for that. Thank you so much.
What do you think about that Cat Williams situation? Hey, you see what the topic was when you came in here?
Yeah. Man, that's Cat just being Cat, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, all of us go through some personal issues, man, and some unaddressed issues with individuals that we should handle with personally, you know, mano to mano, be it said like that. But, you know, man, to me, I think it's more so of a rant than anything else. And in my opinion, you know, I'm just looking at it from the outside looking in, you know what I'm saying? True enough, he said some things that made me say, you know, you know, it's one of them things where you have to, you know, like balance it for yourself, you know. The young queen that made the statement about LeBron James was absolutely right, man. You know, one thing with money is this: when you never had money in excesses as these guys are getting today, you know, the first reaction is to just splurge. You know what I'm saying? Just splurge. Everything I ain't never had, I'm finna get, no matter if it makes sense or not. You know, I'm not thinking about long-term investments of how to let this money that I got right now continue to make money so I can start growing generational wealth for my offspring. See, we ain't thinking like that. And like she was saying, it all depends on who you go back to get in your entourage. You know, one thing that I hated in my era with Hammer was he tried to take the whole neighborhood with him, you know, and, you know, that's bad business in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Now, true enough, they might have been there from the start, but I'm not trying to say everybody. And the only ones who I'm really reaching out for is the ones who really stood with me in the grind, like LeBron's crew. You know what I'm saying? They stood in the grind from day one. Them the type of people that I want in my circle, because if we all on the same mind frame, then we all gonna continue to watch each other's back, because we know the struggle, because we all was there together, and I value that. So, you know, you got to put your integrity where your heart is instead of where your mouth is. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, we were just yeah, brother.
Silverback, he went on mute.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, brother, we were just saying how we were this is a teachable moment. One of the things that I learned from the whole situation with him talking to Shannon Sharp was his business contributions. How he was handling his business personally is what motivated me to basically kind of be on top of my business. And what he kept saying was investing in how he invested in himself. You see what I'm saying? And he betted on himself. Instead of him going with the norm, he invested in himself. And so that's how he's got to where he's got, you know what I mean? And that was motivating to me, you know what I mean? Just to invest in myself, work hard, even if it's, you know, getting it from the mud, as we say in the hood, you know what I mean? But in the long run, you're going to see that it's going to all pay out in the end. You know what I mean? You don't have to go with the flow to be successful. You don't have to have a battery in your back to be successful. Get it from the mud. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. Absolutely. I want to say, hi, Sirius. How you doing? That Virgo from Georgia. Hey, now.
I was wondering who you was waving to. D-Truth, you on mute if you saying something.
Oh, I'm letting you get in.
No,
Oh, no.
I was just, you know, listening to my brother and the knowledge he was spitting, man. It taught me something in that moment. You know what I'm saying? Because I know for me in that moment, I've learned and realized just then to stop placing my unrealistic expectations on others. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a big fan of Cat Williams. You know, I followed his career, you know, almost as long as I followed Bernie. And Bernie, I followed him here in Chicago when he did all this stuff on the trains. So I'm kind of familiar with that area, you know. And for him, okay, like Cat Williams got a hell of a business mind on him too. You know what I'm saying? Because I've watched his investments. I watch who he's standing behind. I'm so proud of him standing behind Red Grant. You know, because Red is going into the political field, man. And for a comedian to go into the political field is a milestone in itself, especially a black comedian. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's a first for me, you know, to see that. But you know, we got to get past the fact of having so much envy, animosity, and jealousy toward one another that's been programmed in us through via television, via internet, you know, via misinformation not been put in books. You know what I'm saying? So we got to break down that mindset of tearing each other down for any particular reason. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when are we gonna finally realize that we are truly all we got, and we truly need to come to understand that? You know what I'm saying? Because man, this thing with Cat Williams has, in my opinion, set us back again. Because here it is, another black man pulling down another black man over some silliness that could have been handled behind closed doors between two men who may have disagreements with each other. Instead of airing it the way they aired it, they went the wrong route. You know what I'm saying? So until we get out of that mindset, you know what I'm saying? And you know, just come together, man. You know, I hear people talk bad about Tyler Perry, man, but I got the utmost respect for that brother. That brother went and bought a whole motherfucking, he bought land, a lot of land, and turned it into a studio for people of color, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we need more of, people who then came from the trenches and got it and willing to show that, man, just because I made it, I don't want to do nothing to not help nobody else make it. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we help one another. That's how we elevate one another. That's how we really show that it does take the whole village, man. to help. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm praying that my grandchildren get it, because I won't see it in my lifetime. But I'm going to continue to speak it into being, you know what I'm saying? Because I know it can happen. When it's going to happen, that's the question.
I respect that. I like what you said about Tyler Perry. I am no fan of Tyler Perry by any means, but you know, I can't respect what he's done. For me, I won't say I hate, that's a strong word. I am very critical of us because we always seem to only excel in the entertainment realm. You know what I'm saying? It's always acting, rapping, sports. You know, it's never lawyers, doctors, uh, nurses. Well, we got a lot of nurses, but you know, people respect. I wouldn't say they are respected fields that you have to go and get an education. You need some type of credentials, some type of license. You know, I like the fact that he built, you know, that whole what is it? That whole studio
Yes.
in
Yes.
Georgia.
Tyler Perry studio. Yes.
Right. I respect that. But I would love to see, you know, more of us building, creating corporations, creating industry, creating jobs like tech companies and things like that. Or, you know, going in a different way. Everybody says, "Oh, I'm a boss," or you know, "I'm a CEO." You're not a CEO if the only employee is you. I'm sorry. I hate to burst your bubble, but that ain't business. That's a hobby. That's a gig thing.
I hear you. I hear you. But
You know,
see,
I would love to see more. I would love to see more growth with us with business.
see now, that's why I put in the chat room. See, a lot of people don't know about Byron Allen. That brother, what he's
I know
doing.
about Byron. Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What he's doing. You know what I'm talking about? See, now that's you hit it on the head right there. He's a brother right there. He's an agent for change. Just in that area right there. You know, the things that Byron Allen is doing is phenomenal, man. And it's sad because, like I stated, a lot of black people don't even know who Byron Allen is.
Right.
Don't even know who he is. And that's a shame, man. He's part of our history.
He
Part
was
of our history.
people don't understand. People don't understand. He was rivaling Arsenio Hall back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Man, whew, listen.
So, but brother, I'm going to say the same thing E said. I really respect your opinion about, you know, especially when you was talking about how, you know, black people, you know, put down other black people, so forth, so on. You know what I'm saying? I have to respect that. You know what I mean? You know, I respect your opinion on that. You know what I'm saying? You know, you have to, you know, I'm with this here, you know. A lot of things. Now, Cat Williams, one of the reasons why he did what he did was because they spoke on him privately, publicly. You know what I mean? Now, you know, he spoke his truth. You know, a lot of times, and like I said, a lot of things are teachable moments. Just because one man does something and it becomes viral, it becomes popular, doesn't mean that it's good for everybody to do. That is why I appreciate D Truth, and we've all, you know, D Truth and I and E, we've always talked about when it comes to our families, when it comes to our communities, when it comes to government, when it comes to the school system, it's all about communication. You know what I mean? Learning how to communicate. You know what I mean? Learning when to communicate. Learning whenever you communicate, the type of energy that you project when you communicate. You know what I'm saying? How to put out disagreements with proper communication. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I respect what you were saying on that, brother, because, you know, everything is a teachable moment. You know what I mean? We may not agree on everything as a culture, as a community, but communication is a key. You know what I'm saying? If you got, you know, one thing, you know, a lot of people don't like KB Kwame Brown's perspective on things, but one thing he said, you know, that rings true when it comes to our white brethren. You know what I mean? Whenever you ever heard our white brethren just airing out their differences to social media or airing out their differences to, you know what I'm saying? So I respect your input on that, brother. You know what I mean? I really do.
I'm grateful, man, and I appreciate that because, like you say, Steve, it ain't too much what you say, it's how you say it, and like you say, it's in your approach, man. You know, we've been taught so much to talk at each other, we don't even talk to each other. You know what I'm saying? And that's a two-way street. You know, when someone's talking, you have to be listening. You know,
correct. It's one of those things. It's how you come at someone. You know what I mean? Having respect for each other and having you know, having a dialogue. You know what I mean? A positive dialogue. You know what I mean? You might not agree with everybody's perspective, but if you could come together and you can talk about stuff and you can, you know, learn to agree to disagree, you know what I mean, without any disrespect in the whole mess, you know what I'm saying? You know, that's how we can come together as a community, as a people. We can build, we can learn, you know what I mean? So yeah, I respect your opinion, brother. I really do.
gratitude. Yeah, man. This 2024 is gonna be a very adventurous yet learning year for myself because I'm very optimistic about certain things that I'm seeing right now. Um, Chicago looking kind of iffy, you know. I'm hearing the shy man, and there's some things jumping off that I'm hoping that's gonna change. There's some new laws in effect, man. People, please look at your state laws. Please look at your state laws for this new year. It's some major changes jumping off that we, as people of color, need to be uh, aware of man. There's no excuse to being ignorant to the law. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it applies to us, because it's us who they demonstrate them on first. You did. So, you know, get up on these new laws in your states for this new year because, man, here in Illinois, there's some things jumping off, man, that I'm praying my people wake up.
Right.
You know, I'm praying that they wake up, man, and pay attention to the signs and the symbols because they are truly being revealed.
Right. It's
Right.
one of those that's one of those things that E and I were talking about by D Truth. He's motivated me to, even though I know some laws when it comes to my state. I'm here in Texas, by the way, DJ. I'm here in Texas. So Texas is it has a lot of laws that that you can benefit from. You know what I mean? But if you don't know your laws, if you're not cognizant of what you're getting yourself into, then you can miss out. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's important as a people. You know, you don't if you're into voting. I'm not. You know, if you're into voting or whatnot, it's important as a people to just don't go along to get along. You know what I mean? You have to educate yourself and know what's going on for your precinct, for your city. You know what I'm saying? So I totally agree with what you're saying. I'm sorry, E. I'm sorry, sis. You about to say something.
Oh no, I wasn't. I wasn't. But I agree with you on that. You know, you definitely need to understand your laws. And I am in California, so I'm in a similar situation as you with the laws, especially with the immigrant situation that's
Yes.
Yeah, it's new to y'all, but we've been getting immigrants for years. So, but it's just, the new laws that are coming for us, you know, is in my opinion is terrible. The Medi-Cal that they're willing to pay, put these immigrants on at the expense of us. It's you really got to understand what's going on, and you need to understand, who these elected officials are, and who you need to get out of office and what they believe. And we all know, and together knows, Gavin Newsom, which is our governor. He's just been doing a whole bunch of effery around here. So I definitely agree with you. You do need to understand the laws of your state, most definitely, and know who the players are in your community, in your county, in your city, in your state.
And it all boils down to, we as a people, Black people, have always, and I'm not, like I said, and E and D Truth, they know this, DJ. I'm not promoting a party. You know what I'm saying? I'm an independent guy. You know what I mean? I look at what's right and what's wrong. But we as a people, as Black people, we've always been, hey, you need to vote for this people. You need to be a Democrat. You need to do this. Educate yourself. You know what I mean? Educate yourself. Do what's best for you and yours and your community. You know what I mean? Look at the candidates. Look at their history. Look at what they believe in. You know what I mean? Does it line up with what you believe in? Does it line up with your morals? Does it line up with your lifestyle? You know what I mean? 9 times out of 10, they're not looking out for your best interest. You know what I'm saying? So you have to look out. You have to look at it at that standpoint. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. That you was tickling me with that because you speaking so much fact. You know what I'm saying, man? And that all goes back to the brainwashing, man. You know what I'm saying? We've been so brainwashed and on this American dream, the American piece of pie. We've been so brainwashed on that, man, till we believe that garbage it's rooted in our DNA now. You know what I'm saying? It's so programmed in us, man. Till some people will just refuse to believe that they're not gonna ever get them 40 acres and a mule. You know what I'm saying? And that was just a myth. You know what I'm saying, man? And I for me, man, to watch this world evolve into what it's evolved into in my 65 years has been a trip, man. If I can get in a time machine and go back in time, I'll go back to the 70s, man, and stay there. And just stay in the 70s. Just live out the remainder of my days in the 70s when we had a sense of community, love for one another, and we looked out for everybody. You know what I'm talking about? Man, that's what I'm missing right then and there. Ain't nothing wrong with them old school values if we apply them today in this new world. Ain't nothing wrong with them old school values, man. If they work then, they'll work now. You know what I'm saying? But we got to be men and women enough to apply those old school methods to this day. See, we messed up when we let them alphabet people, the DCFS folks get in our life. You know what I'm saying? We dropped the ball. But we can pick it up. You know what I'm saying? We can pick it up, man. We are more powerful now today than we ever have been as a people in unity. You feel what I'm saying? In unity. A lot of these things started off, I don't know if they had the good intentions or the bad intentions. Black Lives Matter, that started out as a beautiful cause, man. But then it got polluted. You know what I'm saying? It got polluted. Then everything exploded and changed when this gender thing became an equality type of thing. Man, now you have to be careful on what you say to certain individuals because they may portray themselves as male but identify as female. But how do I know? Just going from my, me looking at you, my perception. So we have to be real careful in this day and age. We living on pins and needles, man. You know what I'm saying? And life ain't meant to be lived like that. We already under a whole lot of pressure, man. We under the pressure of what we fund. We got like 3 wars going on right now. You know what I'm saying? The world is in total chaos. Democrats want to kill Republicans. Republicans want to slander Democrats. You know what I'm saying? We living in a crazy society, man. And us as a people, having been drugged through all of that muck and mire for so many years, man, when are we gonna realize enough has been enough and start coming together? And that's why I keep coming back to that, man. We got to replay all of that stuff that they did to us, and then replay all of that stuff that we did to us, and then make some adjustments, man. Come on, man. Somewhere down the line, we got to change our perception of each other. And when we do that, we can change the perception of the world of how they see us as others. See, I did that play on words. That was a play on words right there. Just seeing if y'all paying attention.
Oh yeah, I'm with you, brother.
Absolutely, absolutely. D-Truth, what you got to bring to the table? Oh, did D-Truth leave? Did he go to sleep?
Oh Lord, he didn't go to sleep, did he? D-Truth.
I know he on mute.
He must be. I hope he not. Oh man.
He has control. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. But I definitely you made some good points with regards to us coming together. I really feel that, as a community, we really don't know our power. And what's stopping us is we don't understand how much, wealth we've already gone through, or money we've already gone through. I wouldn't say wealth, but money we've already gone through. I mean, if you look at the statistics for us as a community, the Black buying power in our economy in the US is like 970 billion, on a way of being 1.6 trillion. Do you understand that that's our buying power? But we don't have the average Black person, the average melanated person is not even making 40K a year, annually in a job. So what does that tell you? Exactly. We don't make a lot of money, but we spend a lot.
Spend
that huge gap right there between, like you just said, making the money and then spending. And our people are so dead set on spending. You know what I mean? And spending incorrectly, spending on nonsense instead of investing. Great point, sis.
Yeah, it's just we don't understand. The thing that we don't understand that hinders us is money.
Right.
You don't understand. A lot of us don't understand how it works. I wouldn't say all of us, but the majority of us don't understand how money works. We don't understand business and how to create business. And that's in my opinion, that's the downfall of us.
Yeah.
The money's there. I mean, 1.9, we're on track to be spending our buying power 1.9 trillion. Do you know countries are run on that amount of money?
It's countries that owe that kind of money. You know what I'm saying? That owe that kind of money, and it's great that you said that too, because one of the things that that we don't take from our white counterparts is the fact that, see, they teach their children about all of that. You know what I'm talking about? They teach their children about how to invest in stock and have them looking at the stock market, teaching them different systems about how to invest and things of that nature. Now we got those same, the blueprint is there for us. We've been had it, we had it, back before when they blew up the self-sustaining city that was making it, and the white folks couldn't believe that blacks can do all this here better than them.
Black Wall Street.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So we got the blueprint, but what happened is we didn't have nobody to sit us down and teach us the blueprint. See, it's there, but nobody took the time to teach the ones that was coming behind the blueprint. And that's our downfall. See, one of the things that I used to think was a myth, but I realized growing up is that it's true. If you want to put anything, hide anything from a black person, put it in a book, because many of us refuse to read, refuse to read, know how to read, but we refuse to.
Right.
We deny ourselves the right to better ourselves when we fail to read. Man, broaden your mind. Broaden your mind. Never be afraid to learn. That's the purpose of life. Life is a series of lessons to be learned. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you have to read that lesson. But a lot of us refuse to read. And when you read, comprehend to your understanding. And if you don't know, never be ashamed to say you don't know. That don't make you less of a person because you don't know. You don't know. Help me understand. And that's what we got to do. We got to start helping each other understand. If we can change one person's perception on how they look at things, then maybe they can find the flame for another person to get it, and then another person to get it, and then that's when we'll get that wave jumping off. That's when that wave will jump off, and then we all will click and come together, and then you'd be like, hey, let's start spending this billion over here. Let's invest this billion in us and make this here a continuation that can go on for generations and generations for our people. You feel what I'm saying? And I know we can do it, man, but we just got to have the willingness and the desire melted along with the commitment to stick and stay, no matter how hard it get. Man, we done been through some trying times as we as people of color, and we've gotten through them together.
Absolutely. It's one of those things where, brother, what I see, with yourself, myself, and the generation that's behind us, the young people, they are not going to humble themselves to listen. You know what I mean? Listen first. And like you were saying, don't be afraid to ask for help. With this whole Katt Williams thing we were talking about Taraji, how she was crying about the deal she had with the Color Purple situation. You know what I mean? And I've been saying, Eve was talking about how, you can't, with her in that situation, with her crying and being emotional about how much money she was, she just basically left on the table. That was basically her fault, because she signed on the dotted line on money that she agreed to when really she lowballed herself. And that's a teachable moment for all of us as a people, to understand what we're worth. And if we go into we might not be millionaires or in Hollywood, whatever, but it's a teachable moment for us in our everyday lives to understand that when you go into a deal, or you go into a job that you're interested in, or a business venture, know what you're getting yourself into. Don't ever lowball yourself. You know what I'm saying? Always educate yourself and get all that money. that, you know, get all the money that you can in that situation. Don't ever lowball yourself. You know what I mean? You know, look at yourself and look at the value that you have in yourself. And if you need help, like you were saying, brother, if you need help, don't be afraid to ask someone, to have a team of people around you that are looking out for your best interest.
And that's a fact, man. That's a fact. You know, I don't want nobody around me that's constantly agreeing with everything that I say. You know what I'm saying? Man, you a detriment to me. And you know, that's really showing me that you there for the money. You ain't there, you know, for me and the business. You know what I'm saying? So we, and I'm talking about all of us right now, you know, if you got a kid in your household, be it your son, your daughter, your niece, your nephew, your cousin, your auntie, be it whatever, you know what I'm saying? Let's get into the habit of putting away phones and spending quality time with them. If it's just for 45 minutes to an hour each day, start spending time with them. Start spending time with them without distractions, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's start building up these young characters that we want to see in the future. You know what I'm saying? Let's start having real conversations with our kids. Let's stop pretending to be grown and start being grown. Let's stop sheltering our children, because when we shelter them in certain areas, we harm them in life. You know, these are very teachable moments for everybody. As I speak to y'all, I'm putting it in my mind to have conversations with my grandkids. You know, they just turned 3 and 4, and I talk to them every day about certain things that's going on with them. I want to know what's happening with them, and I allow them to be themselves, because they are little people, and we have to respect them. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we start building the foundation. See, we got to get back into teaching our children respect at home first, because it starts with self at home, self-respect for your parents, and then you display it out in the streets. That's when we can start creating better individuals to start bringing back those values of having ethics, morals, values, principles, standing on things like that, you know, which leads to integrity. You know what I'm saying? So we have to start with them right now, man. It's never too late to plant a seed. It's never too late. You plant the seed, let the creator do the watering. You know what I'm saying? All we doing is planting positive seeds, man. Speak positivity over everybody in your life. And for 2024 and beyond, and we gonna change this atmosphere to where we can start elevating each other and become better people as a whole, because now is the time more than ever. For real, y'all. You know what I'm saying? On my show, I say it all the time. We all we got. And we truly are all we got, man, you know. But we gotta get the basics together first. You know, I hear a lot of people say that they're Christian and they believe in the word and all this here, you know, and I got to take them at that. But for me, man, my creator said for us to love one another as we love ourselves.
There you go.
And as he and the son loves us. Now, I love the hell out of me. I do. I love me, man. Ain't nobody more than I love than me. So if I love me, I'm not going to do nothing to hurt me. So if I ain't gonna do nothing to hurt me, I ain't gonna do nothing to hurt you, because, man, the first rule of my creator was to love my neighbor. So I'm not finna do nothing to hurt you, bring you down, or none of that. My purpose is to love. You know, wasn't no condition with that. Wasn't no stipulation. Wasn't no hidden motive or agenda. It's a love, and we can't even get that right.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? We can't even get that right. But we Christians, though. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Man. I'm just speaking my truth. I'm just speaking my truth.
Hey,
No,
hey, brother, I really appreciate you coming up, man. And it's always good to get you know, an older, wiser man, and your perspective on things and whatnot. Because, man, what this generation needs is someone to take you back. You know what I mean? Because what young people don't understand is that when you're an older person, an older brother, older sister, you've been through a lot of things, and you can tell people what you've gone through and what has worked for you and what's worked for you and yours and what has not worked. You know what I mean? And so it's up to our generation to listen. You know what I mean? And so, man, I really appreciate your perspective on things. What's going on, King Wolf? What's going on, big bro?
What's happening, King Wolf?
What's going on, bro? What's going on?
Happy 2024 to you and yours.
Happy New Year to you too, Tom. Salute to you, bro. Salute.
Wait a minute, hold on. Cause I don't say nothing. Y'all always think I'm asleep, huh?
Bro, I'm getting texts and phone calls.
I know.
I
know that. I know. Cause I was just sitting up and being quiet, let them talk. Sometimes as a host, when the flow going, like we said, when the flow going, don't interrupt the flow.
Okay,
just type in the private chat. Let somebody know.
I did. I did. I did.
Okay.
I did.
We always got that, bro.
I know, but hey, cause I don't say nothing, I'm letting the show flow like it flows. So I'm saying, you feel me? I always let it flow like it flows. No, like, hey, like Shannon did with Cat Williams. Hey, I just sit back and listen. And y'all had a good conversation going.
Hey man, it's another epic live, bro.
Oh yeah, cause there's a lot of things that we talked about that they could either people could pick it up or leave it down. Yeah, because we know in entertainment industry, no matter what kind of industry you go in, it always fine print somewhere.
Oh hell yeah!
You got to read it.
Okay, man.
And a lot of
Jasmine knows false alarm, man. I'm gonna drop on that down, man. Let you take back over the show.
Yeah.
Y'all have a good night.
Go
go get some sleep.
Yeah. And
all right, John.
And you know, us as we the elder statesmen now, right? We're the elder statesmen. Where else they gonna go to get advice, try to learn from about what's going on in life? But like we said yesterday, cost you 30, 40, 50, 60, 25, 70. That don't mean you grown, do it. That mean you're adult, do it.
Nope.
It really does.
See, I like to tell people, I'm from Missouri. Don't talk about it, be about it. Show me. I love action. Action's what speak what? Louder than words, don't it? And with the Cat Williams, that was his thoughts, his opinion, and how he felt. And I said this right here. If it wasn't true, why would you respond? Because you don't respond to a lie. But we already know how that business is. It's a dirty business. It's like some of these it's like some of these car dealers. I compare Hollywood like a car dealer, car salesman.
They shady.
There you go. And like, there you go. Do I need to say anything else?
Nope.
We're gonna take a commercial break. And you already know what we're gonna do. We're gonna come back with each and everybody final thought and shout out. And Tony, your final thoughts and your shout outs.
Okay, first, let me say thank you for allowing me the opportunity to come up on the platform for the first time in 2024. Appreciate it, man. Much love to each and every one of the people on the panel, man. May God continue to bless you and your families beyond your imagination. You know, I'm talking about the prayer of Jabez, enlarge each and every one of y'all's territory in every area of your life. Man, thank you for this right here, man. You know, I needed this to get me right. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I'm 65, but I'm learning every day, man. I try to learn something new every day. And today I've learned some things from some people earlier, and I've learned something from this discussion tonight. So thank you, my young people, for educating me as I continue to learn this journey that we all travel and call life, man. May we continue to encourage, uplift, and motivate one another. Let's continue to spread love, give respect, and realize and know that we truly are all we got, man. I love y'all, man. Thank you, man.
And Tony, let everybody know what your channel is, and when you drop your channel link, so people go sub up to you. And tomorrow night, I'll let the one of the mother two do this plug. I ain't gonna do that. I ain't finna do y'all plugging for you.
Well, you can catch www.spreaker.com. You can catch me on Facebook. You can catch me on Twitter. You can catch me on Twitch TV. You know, T-Man Sanchez at Twitch TV. You know, you can catch me at KCCR Radio every Saturday and Sunday from 7 to 9 p.m. Brownstone Worldwide, Cityscape. That's my second home away from home. But yeah, basically though, man, be keeping your eye out on www.spreaker.com for the Eye of the Storm. That's that my back there. And you'll find me, man. You'll find me.
Sit back or E, whichever one of y'all two want to go next.
Go ahead, sis.
Well, I appreciate always the conversation. I love dialogue. I love discourse. This was a good live. Salute to everybody in the chat, especially Sirius S Virgo, the greatest mod out here. Thank you so much. D Truth, Silverback. Who else was on the panel? Jaco. I'm forgetting. Was there somebody else?
I ain't with nobody else.
And then okay. And then I think your name is Tony. Sir, I appreciate everything that you brought to the table tonight. It was a pleasure speaking with you. And like Silverback and D True said, you know, just to have that wisdom, you know, sometimes we forget about, you know, our elders and, you know, the true gems that they have and, you know, getting their perspective. So I appreciate you for coming on here and blessing us with your insight. I will always say, like I've come with my I had to think about this because D Truth, you kind of challenged me with regards to, you know, what you say on your show. So I'm always gonna say, this is my saying. I had to think about it, and this is how I feel. You never want to be the smartest person in the room. You always, if you're the smartest person in that room, you have nothing to learn. You might want to leave that room. So always leave rooms that you're the smartest person in. you know, you need somebody who's going to challenge you, who's going to help you to grow. And I feel with these types of topics and these types of chats and panels that we're having, we're getting different perspectives. We're getting different age ranges, you know, we're getting educated. So always, I would say, never be the smartest person in the room. And then I'll leave with my verse, which is one of my favorite verses, which is Proverbs 18:21. Death and life is in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. Speak life, not death. Speak blessings and not curses. And just enjoy the journey.
Amen.
You forgot something.
Please log in. We are going to be Silverback and I are going to be in the Wolf Den for some dialogue tomorrow night on my channel. It's just ETV. And it starts at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Central, and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check us out. We are still going to be on the dating and relationships, and we'll have another twist in that conversation. So stay tuned for that.
I don't have nothing to do what they talk about. They always surprises me. Silverback.
Hey, I want to shout out, as always, to my big brother D Truth for having us, allowing us on the panel. Another epic live and another great dialogue with a number of people on the panel. So I appreciate you, D Truth. It's an honor to be on your panel. As always, DJ Tony, I appreciate you, brother, for coming up with your knowledge and with all your input, brother. I learned a lot from you. I just subbed up to your channel, by the way, and so I really appreciate your dialogue. To my better half, it's just ETV. Salute to you, sis. It's always a pleasure. To everyone who's listening to us, we are going live tomorrow, so it's going to be some epic topics, and it's going to be fun. So y'all tune in. Shout out to the Wolf Pack. Shout out to the Wolf Pack Council. I want to say shout out to Together, to the Commission Artwork team. Shout out to Renrock TV. I appreciate the love and all the support on your end, the Nile River. I support. I'm thankful for all the support. I'm thankful for all of the encouragement, and so I'm just going to leave this with you. One last thing. With everything that we talked about, it might seem a lot, but you can't reach the world, but you can reach just one person. And if one person got what you talked about, and it caught a seed and it built a seed inside that person, that is a success. So as long as one person, if it's just one person that just got what you got and listened to what you put out, and they made a difference, it was all worth it. So I leave you with that, and I'm out.
You forgot something. When is your debut?
My debut with going live on my channel, the Silverback King, is February the 20th. So you guys go sub up, and you guys go look forward to that. We will be going live. I have some ideas of that first live. So you guys go sub up. It's going to have another fun page that we're going to be positive. We're going to bring out a lot of positive topics, a lot of great discussions. So it's February the 20th. We will start going live on the Silverback King channel. So you guys go sub up. And that's it.
Folks, there you have it. Everybody shout out their channel and what they're going to be doing. Guess what? Silverback, Tony know me. I love to push the envelope. I love to challenge people's mind, make them think. Because we don't use our brains often enough. Yeah, I do go down rabbit holes. I do that. Oh, I didn't go. I wasn't going down the rabbit hole tonight. Y'all noticed that, right?
It's the first thing.
Always.
E, I'll ask you this question before I sign out. What you think? Did you think I was going to go down a rabbit hole tonight?
Mm-hmm. I did.
I shocked you tonight, didn't I? Because I usually do.
Yep, you did.
And Tony up there got forks and a plate straight in the background. I'm trying to like, what will he eat? But this was one of these lines that how you put things as perspective. It goes back to what we talked about last night. It also goes back to what y'all been talking about on the Whoop Dead Dialogue. Trust and self-preservation. Like I said, you gotta love and respect yourself. If you don't love and respect yourself, how you gonna be able to see through the BS? And you got to love yourself more than anything else. Cause who gonna love you more than you love yourself? And another thing, people, stop waiting till December 31st when the clock strike 12, January 1st, and stop trying to make revolutions. We should be make a revolution each and every day. Try to get better. Who agree with that one?
I do. All the time.
Yeah, gotta agree with that one, man. You better, because if you don't, it won't.
Yeah, and on that note, guess what, folks? Till tomorrow, I might go live during the afternoon, but if not, join us tomorrow on It's Just ETV. And with the dialogue, go set up to DJ Tony, go set up to It's Just ETV, go set up Silverback King, and shout out to the Commission Art team together. And respect to the Nile River, AP, Queen E. James, Diamond Shooter. Everybody go sub up to the Diamond Shooter. Sub up to B-Rob, Jaco. And on that note, you already know what it is. We are out of here like yesterday. With people listening.